We're good? Thumbs up? I guess he won. Is Jay's thumbs up?
There we go.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Not So Tender Podcast, number 14, season finale. I don't know why I picked number 14 to be the last one for a season, because I don't know what a season is, but I feel like 14 is 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of material. That's a lot of material, right?
I guess I'm like, well, 12 would be like one a month.
Right.
24 would be like
Is
every 2
14
weeks.
reasonable?
Like, why?
All right.
Sure. Sounds great.
Know. Anyways, this is our last one. We're going to change some things.
Next year, we'll have to do 24.
In one season?
Yeah.
Jeez, she's going
every
hard.
Other week.
I'm in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So next year, we're changing it. But next season, you're going to see a change in the set a little bit. Mm-hmm. We're going to revamp some things and make it all better. Today, we have a special guest. Her name is Taylor.
Welcome, Taylor.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of story why you're here. I work at a tattoo shop, obviously, not so obviously, but she was getting tattooed by another artist, and she was telling a story about some things, and I poked my head and I was like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And I was like, we talked for a minute, and I said, "You need to come on the show," and she fucking agreed to it. So bonkers.
I literally went home and I was like, I'm in.
She said, I love it. So we'll get to what we were talking about a little bit later. We're gonna go through our normal hard week or easy week, Kelly. Oh, this is a good one. We've had so many easy weeks.
I know. So this past week was my last week at the hospital. Yay! And also, I love my job and I love the people that I work with. So it was hard. Yeah. So now I am getting ready to go into full-time private practice. I have 8 intakes this week.
That's it?
Intakes mean diagnosing people and coming up with a treatment plan.
Oh, that's easy. Girls do that all day long, just from a fucking Instagram photo.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding.
So, right.
Not
so
really.
I have been anxious all weekend just at like the transition between full-time job with a hierarchy of power versus like, it's just me.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
You'll be
I'm
way
pumped.
better off.
I'm pumped.
You should double your workload. You'll thrive.
I am not. I have 27.
It works for me.
I have 27 openings and I'm at like 18.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Sissy. Let's
Right,
do wait, 27.
My toggle is open, everybody. If you're in Ohio, I'm only licensed in Ohio.
I shared it to someone today, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think some people are going to benefit from it for sure.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I believe it.
So
yeah, big transition week for me. Bittersweet for sure.
Independent.
Here we go.
For Independence Day. My week was interesting. I had some really...
Yeah, how was your week?
My week was interesting. I had some neat clients, and we talked about a lot of stuff, which is why I wanted to bring up this. What I want to bring up today. Do you want to punch me right in the belly?
I do.
It's okay, because it's something we need to talk about, because...
I'm going to go just as Kelly as opposed to Counselor Kelly today.
So
today I am just a human.
Can I be Therapist
like,
Thomas today then?
Therapist Thomas, I am no longer Counselor Kelly just for the season finale. I am just Kelly. Human Kelly.
The roles are reversed.
Yeah.
It is. 100%.
Here we go.
So
you have to therapize me.
It's going to be good. Appalachian therapy. I'm only licensed in West Virginia. Sorry. That's it.
By what board?
The board that goes on your outhouse. The outhouse board. So she's actually spends a ton of time in West Virginia. So when I was talking to her about stuff, and she's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was like, it's a different kind of problem-solving skill, isn't it?
It's very, yeah. People here and there are just very different. They think very differently.
Yeah.
Act.
And you're not comfortable in either place, are you?
No.
Isn't that the worst part of it? I feel the same way. Like, I feel like I'm too country for here and too like city for there. And when you guys don't know me on this show, I'm pointing at people like you're actually looking at me. But I know when you see this, you don't think that I grew up in a 2-room schoolhouse and an outhouse and churning butter and splitting wood and like for real slopping hogs every day. When you look at this, you don't see like this. Right. So
Holler, West Virginia.
I was on a mountain. I actually wasn't in Holler.
No. Oh, you were up.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
we really weren't Holler people. We actually live on top of the mountain. Not that there's any better. I
You
don't
just
really
look
know.
down on the Holler people.
No, you just drive down there to get to the river. That's about all you do. And you wave to them. And if they got something dope, you probably share it with them, and they share it with you. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes down there. They play for keeps down there because you're actually protecting something because you don't have it. Poor people, whether you're in the city or Appalachia, are the exact same people. They will protect whatever they have to their death or your death because it's important. And I think that's where I'm very cautious of how I deal with certain people because that inner Appalachian comes out in me where I'm just like,
Right. Life or death. Right.
well, yeah, because it is playing for keeps down there. I mean, it gets very serious very quick. I've had a lot of gun deaths in my family. I'm sure you have. How many gun deaths have you had in your family?
A lot.
See, okay, how many gun deaths have you had in your family? You're going to say no. How crazy is this? I knew that you're going to say yes.
Things just, they way down there, they escalate very quickly. They don't really talk about things. It's just quick to doing whatever they can to solve the situation in their eyes. Someone always has to be right, and you just can't argue with it. It's bad.
Yeah. Well,
interesting.
You had to be. I mean, you got to figure like all that Scottish, all those people are Irish and Scottish. And
Yeah.
like literally Scottish thing is fuck around and find out. It literally is like the mantra of Scotland.
Fair.
So
Right.
it's like those people have just been protecting what they've had and they don't have a lot.
Right.
And if you do have a lot, you're really going to protect it as well.
Oh, absolutely.
It is a different kind of vibe. I had to tone it down, because internally I want to go to 11. I want to just lash out, and I'm like, man, I don't want to teach my kids that. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't
So
want
you
to be
were
that way with
taught
my
that.
friends. Oh,
2 to 11.
my dad is the scariest fucking guy. Oh my god, like for real scary. But it's I don't even know how to explain it, but it's so normal. Like when you grow up that way, you're like,
Oh, yeah.
that's my uncle. He'll literally carry a sawed-off shotgun in a bar and try to because the guy was hitting on his wife, and he warned him, leave her the fuck alone, dude. She's married. And he did it again. He walked right his ass out there to his truck and grabbed his fucking shotgun, kicking in the door like, I fucking told you. Like they don't,
It escalates very fast. You don't even have time to process anything really. Like even I was just there like 2 weeks ago. We were at Walmart, and some guy came up to this girl, and he just I don't know what he asked her, but I just know the guy beside her. They just started fighting instantly.
Yeah.
He was like, why are
Like
you speaking to
on-site,
my wife?
just-
Right there in the middle of the aisle. He was like, why are you speaking to my wife? Like it was serious. That's how it always is. Every time I go down there, it's just like
When I moved up here, I was in 2nd grade. And I remember these guys, like the way they fight up here, they kind of walk around on their shoulder, on each other's shoulder, and talk a lot of shit. And I looked at the kid next to me, I go, what are they doing?
It's
And he
different down there.
goes, they're fighting. I go, no, they're not. That looks like a Beat It video. That doesn't look like, they look like they're dancing.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. In Appalachia, man, they'll hit you and then go, stop looking at my girl. After they beat
Right.
you half to
They
death.
act and then
Like
explain.
here,
Right.
they'll start yelling at each other. I'm like, oh, I'll hit you or whatever. They're straight to the point. Like they
Now.
tell you, if they tell you they're going to fight you, they're going to. Not even a second later. But here, they'll talk and talk.
So it's a different kind of.
Oh yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
It's very different. You can just tell by the atmosphere when you get like from here and there. It's very different.
Yeah.
That's
the vibes,
interesting.
everything.
Right. My maternal grandfather was a Presbyterian pastor.
Yeah.
They lived in Scotland for a long time.
Oof.
My mom grew up there.
Next level shit.
Right. But he was potentially on the other side of that coin,
Yeah.
I would guess.
More reserved or
Yeah,
more.
right. So he was born and raised here and then went over across seas to do that and then came back. And so my mom is like the daughter of a minister, and
That explains a
it's,
lot.
I know.
Heathen.
I know.
Straight
right.
heathen.
She,
We normally have a counselor on this show.
I know.
And today
we don't have
we
a
just have a
counselor.
heathen.
We just have a human.
Heathen Kelly.
A heathen human. That's all we got.
Jeez.
But so he will tell me stories about XYZ, but he wasn't
Part of
on
that.
that side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Dude,
No,
my
he was on the
family-
more conservative,
Oof.
but I guess his stories are like, it was very black and white. It was either you were over here or you're over here.
There's no middle.
Right.
No, there's no middle.
No.
Right.
And it's so, I don't know how removed am I going to assume that where your family lives, it's not a neighborhood.
No, there is there's actually no neighbors besides one. He just built a cabin on all the houses around us were turned into meth labs, so it's all
so easy
empty.
shopping.
Yeah,
just super easy shopping.
There's just our house, and then there's another cabin, and then there is a mini mart, and that's it.
That's it.
And then it's like an hour to the nearest town for like a Walmart or something. We live in the middle of absolutely
That's
nowhere.
where you grew up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Until when?
I came up here, I think when I was like 6, but then I kept going back and forth. Like I was
summer.
raised more there than I was here, but my mom has always lived here. So it's always been a back and forth thing. My mom would just ship me away, and then I would have to come back for school, and then every other week I was right back out there. And I'm there like every other week now. I do barrel racing and stuff out there.
That makes sense. Barrel racing, please explain.
You don't know what barrel racing is?
I can guarantee the general
So
public
look,
does not
when you're
know what
cooking
barrel
meth, when you're
racing-
cooking meth and you have a barrel of like chemicals, you got to race. I'm kidding.
It's just like that.
Tell me, because if I slightly know that there are people on
Really?
here who don't.
Oh.
Yes.
It's
yes.
very cool.
Please tell.
I'm not a horse person, but
It's actually so fun, but it's very painful at the same time. It's literally where there's 3 barrels. There's 2 across from each other and 1 up front, and then you have to race. You have to get there. My highest is 14.5 seconds to get from the start to the finish. So you have to, I think it's like...
you might want to tell her that it's on a horse.
Oh, it is on a horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
On a
you.
horse. Oh,
Okay,
yeah, you're
all
on a
right.
It's not a
horse.
wheelbarrow race.
I was envisioning like a
Hogs.
whiskey barrel.
Hogs.
No,
Yeah,
So
like
you're
a
on
barrel.
You're on a horse, and
Okay.
you have to try to have the fastest time in front of everybody. You have
They
to
just
go,
run?
They circle around the barrels, and you can't knock one over, and you have to do it in the fastest second. So you have to go from one side to the other side to the very corner, and then race back.
I have questions.
Go ahead.
Barrel.
It's like
meaning
just
like a whiskey barrel.
No, like a big blue barrel,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
like a rodeo.
So you just go like in between them,
You have
or
to
you
circle
just
them
go.
fully. You have to circle it and then go back to the other one, then go the other one, and then race back. It's hard.
Nobody knows this, Thomas. I'm. telling you.
It's okay.
I know.
I mean, I just know because
Right. Okay. So you go there and you barrel race.
All over. I go to New Jersey, I go to North Carolina, all over the place.
just racing barrels,
Racing barrels.
wheelbarrow racing.
Yeah.
Here.
She's got the fastest wheelbarrow race in the Tri-County area.
But one at a time, right? Like you do it and they time you, and then the next person does it and they time them.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Now we gotta go to a
I'm
barrel
so
racing
intrigued.
competition.
Yes, please. Invite me.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Seriously?
Appalachian stuff's a little different.
It is different.
It's a lot different. Barrel racing is an Appalachian, obviously. It's a worldwide sport. It is.
It is. It's
I
all
believe
over
it.
here. There's rings
like,
around
nobody
here,
does
30
that.
minutes from here. All
Yeah.
over. Bucking, Ohio. They have rodeos all over the place.
I just know
Shocking.
this because the wife is super into horses, so I was around a
Yeah.
lot of horses in the last year.
I had one horse one time.
She
His
loves
name
horses.
was Bumpus.
Jesus.
He was 21 years old.
He was not a barrel racer.
He was not.
bad hips.
Nope. I loved him until he passed. He was great. What?
I had a really good joke, and I'm just going to keep it
Just
to
leave
myself
it
tonight.
alone.
I am.
Leave it alone. I was living in North Carolina and he was getting attacked by wild hogs. So I rescued
The motorcycle club? I'm kidding.
No.
It was a joke.
I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
fucking
it was
wild
bad.
hogs.
He had like open wounds. It was
Jesus,
loved
we
him.
are getting crazy
So
topic today.
far off topic.
She's doing anything to not talk about what we're going to
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, that means we have to. So today's subject,
He's
because of my clients this
Pressure's
week.
on you.
It is not.
So I had
Human
a
Kelly, everybody.
I had a client in today, and she was talking to a boy that lived in another state, and they had mutual friends. And she found out that he was chatting her up like crazy, but he also was like in a relationship, like even online in a relationship. Like, dude is posting pictures or like video of him slow dancing with his girlfriend in the fucking kitchen and still opening up chats from her, and like she didn't know about it. In the same like
Wait, who didn't know about it?
my client didn't
Okay.
know that he had a girlfriend.
Okay.
And
So common, though. It's sad.
yeah, so I started going deep into it, and she's a good client, so I always have her like Google shit while I'm tattooing her because we like to learn things. Like if we don't know, so I'm like, Google that. Let's find that out. And she laughs, you know. So today we were talking about that. I said, so did you ever actually meet him? And she goes, no. I said, you guys are like fucking pen pals. You know what I mean? And then I go, how much does that affect his home relationship? So we started like, I was like, why do people feel the need to have that kind of in-depth? I go, was he being inappropriate with you? She's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I want to cuddle you. I want to, you know, touch you where you pee, all that shit.
That's not what he said, Thomas.
Well, he was way more graphic than I'm going to be. I'm on a
touch you
show.
where
Want to touch you where you pee is pretty graphic.
That's a nice way of saying
I've
it.
never heard anyone put it that way.
Isn't that a nice way of saying it?
No.
I feel like if someone ever said that to me, I would probably just walk away and never talk to you again.
Well, I don't blame you, but I'm not saying it to someone. I'm saying to describe it.
Yeah, sure.
Is that better? I would never say
yeah,
that. I
but
won't say
it's
I would
still a
never
weird way
say
to
that.
describe it.
Yeah, you know where I'm from.
You know what? You're
That's
right.
a
You're right.
stretch. Really?
Yeah.
Show me some grace.
You got grace.
So we were talking
It's the
about
last
it.
episode, so we're gonna call
It
you out
is.
on that. Like, listen, that's a weird way.
It's not going anywhere. I know
This
it
one
gets
guy
a
used to
laugh.
talk to.
Oh, so okay. So he was saying that to this
Yeah, my friend.
to
Well,
your
my client. Yeah,
to
my
your
friend.
client while in a serious committed relationship.
In a real relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, Google why people need to talk to multiple people one time, and it led me to this subject: emotional. What's the second word?
Affair.
Emotional affair. So we are going
Taylor?
through it, and we are talking about it.
Buckle
Emotional, yeah, emotional affair. So then because I like to know real, what a
Not
word really
real.
means. What a
Logistical.
definition.
Yes.
A definition
A
of a word.
logic-minded.
Yes. So what emotional affair? So we went to Wikipedia. We went on these other things, and then she got on TikTok, and we were just watching some people talk about it, and it was very, very interesting. So, an emotional affair, and some people were way off base in my mind. They were just like going too hard on it, like it's no matter what. I'm like, okay, so if you're just a pen pal with somebody, where does it cross that line, and how does it affect your partner? And obviously, it affects some people like a lot. I'm very familiar with this, and I'm trying to understand it because I want to better my own relationships, and I also wanted other people to really be able to walk through this, because when you're just like, it's just fucking bad. Too many people do it to just write it off as like it's just fucking bad. You got to give me a better reason
Sure.
and understand. Like my biggest thing
Where
right now
is
is to
the-
understand why.
Yeah.
Understand
Why they do it or why it's a problem?
why it's a problem to you first. We know why people do it. People like attention. And here's what I talk.
But why isn't that first?
What do you mean?
Why is your unhealthy coping not the focus, and why somebody else's reaction to it the focus?
In my mind, I think if that many people in society do something, we need to understand why we're upset with it first. Because if that many people are doing it, that many people don't murder people. That's why we freak out at it. We're like, okay, that's fucking wrong. We're going to hope that many people don't molest children. They don't. You know what I mean? In comparison to how many people there are.
Sure.
And that's why we're like, no, that's fucked up.
Right.
But a lot of people fucking have multiple partners, and a lot of people have emotional affairs. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do,
Right.
but I want to get to the problem of it before I deal with the fucking symptom of it. The symptom of it is that they're doing it. Okay, obviously, well, they need to take that take responsibility is fucking hilarious. It's like saying you're sorry. Sorry. You know, you're okay. So you fucking responsibility.
Take responsibility clinically amounts to
Wait.
identifying.
You can't talk like that
Yes,
today.
I am. I'm gonna
you're
bounce
fading
back
back
and
in?
forth. Listen,
I'm gonna get you a hat. You got to put on.
Counselor Kelly, human Kelly.
Right.
So, taking
It lasted 6 minutes.
accountability. No, we're gonna argue this time. It's a great season finale. So, taking accountability is identifying why you do what you do. So, if you are getting your emotional needs met by multiple people, that's okay if that's what you need. But then speak to it, right? Like it.
I just don't see the point in it. If you're in a relationship and you need to seek validation from other people, what's the point of continuing the relationship?
I'll tell you why. Because that's what everybody says. Because that's the generic answer. I'm not saying you're wrong. This is why.
It's not generic.
No, it's not generic. It is kind of. No, hold on. This
It's
is
the
why.
typical answer, right?
Yes, but this is why. It's the same thing as parenting and everything else. My kids won't tell me anything. Well, how do you act when they tell you? You want to know, like, sometimes it has to do with, it's easier to share something with somebody that you don't have to go home to. You don't have any real responsibilities to. You can share things with them because they're not going to judge you, because they're not relying on you for your finances, for your trust, to share your home with, to share your children with. So it's lighter. It's like your best friend. But when it's the opposite sex, all of a sudden it gets fucking weird.
The sex that you're attracted to.
Right. That's what yeah.
Right.
Whoever you would
Lines get
potentially
blurred.
fuck,
Right.
okay?
Yeah, well, a
I'm
potential
sorry,
partner.
I wasn't. I know,
Anybody,
I wasn't
right.
saying yes. Whoever
Yeah.
you could potentially have sex with, whatever you're into.
But I guess here's where my mind gets tripped up, because if you have sex with somebody else, it is so much easier, generically speaking, it is so much easier to get over
And forgive.
a physical infidelity than a emotional infidelity.
Can I say why I think that's the case?
Yes, please do.
I heard
because
about
I have been ruminating on this whole day. I'm fucked up, y'all. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think I know why.
Why?
Because you can control their physical body. You can't control their mind. And this is where we trip up as humans, as weak humans. We literally want to control your fucking mind and your thoughts. So an emotional affair you can't control, because we're a bunch of controlling little fucks, and we want to control somebody. So if I know where you're located and I know that person's in that fucking squadron and you're in this squadron, and you can't fuck him. Okay? So I can control your physical. I can make sure you're not in the same room with that motherfucker, but I hate that I can't control your fucking mind, and I don't know where your head is or your conversations are, and that, I think, is why people are so fucked up about it.
Insecure
Control.
about it. Insecure
Sorry.
about it. Yeah.
I'm not good with words sometimes.
No, sure. It comes down to...
Does that make sense?
It does.
Are we having
and
a breakthrough here?
I have
Call
picked
234.
apart-
I need my glasses.
Go ahead.
200 5949. Just kidding.
I have picked apart the definition of jealousy.
Oh, that's a new one for us.
Yeah.
There's
Do you
a real-
remember the 4 pieces?
No, hell no, because I'm not jealous.
Anger.
That doesn't affect me. Ask me what goes in a shrimp dish. Don't care. I'm allergic to shrimp.
Sure. Anger, insecurity,
Oh,
fear,
yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you ever heard jealousy described that way? We just stumbled across this a couple weeks ago. That's a neat way to explain it, though, right? Because we usually say jealous.
Yeah, I guess.
Did you hear what I don't mean that to be mean, but did you hear like the 4 pieces of it? Anxiety, fear, anger, insecurity.
Right.
That's a lot of really heavy shit in one.
That's a lot. So to me, because with clients, I often help. I compare emotions to a color wheel. Like there's only so many primary colors, and then there's secondary colors, and then there's tertiary color. Yeah. And anger is not a primary color. You can't just be mad. You're mad because you feel other things, and that makes you mad.
Yeah. It's like saying you're Native American. That's why you're a dick when you drink.
Sure. Yes, same thing, Thomas.
It's not real.
But jealousy, I guess that just broke it down for me personally and clinically, that like jealousy is a combination of a lot of different emotions that you are feeling, and you cannot blame other people for your emotions.
It's like periwinkle. It's a lot of colors into one.
That's true. That's true. But like we've talked about, like nobody can offend you unless you decide that you're offended.
You allow
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I had a guy say, I don't like this shit being shoved down my throat by these people. I said, these people never shove things down your
Why
throat.
are
It's
you-
the people who dislike it that shove it down everybody.
Right.
They're the ones
Well,
that are constantly
I
bringing this
guess
shit
that's
up.
like, why are you opening your throat?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, but like that's what,
it's not that kind of show.
but that's where that comes from. Like you
Yeah.
are deciding
100%.
to
Yeah.
be offended by what other people do.
That's the beauty of Appalachia. They said I have to give a shit for it to matter.
Yes. So I feel like jealousy, for the first time when we defined it differently, I was like, oh no, that is
different.
you. You are deciding to be insecure. Like your personal emotional state is allowing you to be jealous by somebody else.
Yeah. And radical acceptance, all this stuff, but understanding, it all goes back to understanding why it bothers you. before you can bring it to somebody for them to correct it or anything. But the emotional thing, like when you said, why is physical cheating easier to forgive? They talked about that a lot today when we were watching, listening to this shit.
Yeah.
So when
on
they're
social media and stuff, right?
And we were listening to people talk about it, and I go, and that's why I thought about it most of the day. Like, why is physical cheating easier to forgive? And
Because it's an act.
And you can stop it. You can literally control
it. It's an act
it.
and not an emotion.
Yes.
Yep.
Because we have this innate, like, we just want to control. We want to feel secure of what you're thinking, which is preposterous. And my brain doesn't work that. You know this. My brain is like completely like, you know what you know about me. If we're dating, you only know what I allow you to know.
Right.
I only know what you allowed me to know.
Right.
I don't know anybody that's like completely transparent. Like you can't be. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
So the emotional affairs, they went through a lot of different stuff. And I was very interested in it. And I can understand why it's so easy to have an emotional affair with a coworker or with anybody like that, because you spend more time with them than you do your mate. You also don't pick up their dirty clothes. You also aren't picking up their dirty dishes. You're not dealing with their twat mother or their twat father. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, you're not dealing with all their shit. So it's very, very attractive.
Yeah.
Until you have to change their oil and you have to, maintain that vehicle. It always seems very attractive. Mm-hmm. So that, to me, is why it starts, and it's a very slippery slope. And I do understand this because it's very easy to fall into that.
Yeah.
I've learned to keep myself where I'm just like, there's no fucking way I could even wrap my head around doing that anymore.
Well, no, you mentioned on a previous episode, like, I'm not going to water other people's gardens.
No, I started feeling much better.
If it does not benefit myself.
Well, she was talking about that. Because she gets a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. And she goes, I've slowly just weeded it out. And I go, how freeing do you feel? She goes, it's insane. I don't feel like if somebody sends me a snap that I have to respond back to them.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Why can't you respond back to me? And she's like, you don't even know me.
Right. I don't owe you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know me at all. Like, why? For what? You know what I mean? And like, I see it. And with my own personal shit that I'm going through, when it was finally explained to me, when she says, I don't want people to have access to you. And that's really what it comes down to. I don't want people to have access to you because they think that they have, like, they're throwing little pebbles at you. You know what I mean? It's not like big things like, let me see you naked. But it's just little, like, well, with me, are these people that are reaching out to me about stuff because I'm easy to talk to and I'm easy, like, are they just throwing little pebbles at me?
At your window.
Yeah, she goes, I don't care if they talk to you while you're tattooing them. That's sure. They're paying for you to do that. They got your time. I get it. You know what I mean? As long as you're not being fucking inappropriate like that, I get it. I said, cool. But she goes, when you're not tattooing them, that's not cool. And going back to my own shit, what we kind of fucking uncovered on this fucking show, which was awesome to watch back, by the way. Not really. It's not really good to unpack this shit in front of everybody every week, but it's happening.
Live
here we are,
YouTube.
right?
Here we go.
So my whole entire being is based on not wanting to fail people. So everything that I do, like when I'd have anybody press me over the years about who messaged me, and I'm like, why can't I talk to someone? Like, I'd be real defensive about it, and I couldn't even understand why. And I know now because I don't want to fail someone. Like, if you're reaching out to me and you're a client and, like, it wasn't about a tattoo, but I feel like I would feel like I was letting you down. And it's something inside me that I'm like, that's what's projected me to do tons of shit that I do.
That makes sense.
In every aspect. Right. What do you want to drink? Are you guys good? Everybody good? And all this shit constantly. But it goes even further on shit like that. Because I'm like this. I don't need to talk to that person. But I feel like...
But I don't want to let them down if they reach out.
I don't.
Right.
And then it becomes a defiant thing, too. Like, hey, don't tell me what to fucking do. Right. I'm not really good at that. If you ask me, and we talk about it, I could probably figure it out and work on it. So that helped me a lot, is understanding, like, that little discovery.
That core belief.
Yes. Help me go, I don't have to make sure everybody's okay. I don't have...
Their happiness is not contingent on your success or failure.
But it isn't the big ones. It's the little pebbles. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, if you message me and was like, dude, I am having a fucking hard day. What do you think about the situation? That's a different.
Oh yeah, you would answer that phone call 10 out of 10.
Right.
Right.
So
and
unless,
that's not
so
what she's
unless it's
talking
that,
about. Right. Yeah. It's the little thing, the little nudge.
because she
Hey, I need
knows.
your attention.
She knows, just like everybody knows, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's where it fucking starts. And because I'm fucking obviously on the spectrum, obviously don't see things like normal fucking humans. I'm like,
Right.
no, I don't eat elephants. Like it's that preposterous to
Yeah,
me.
sure.
I'm like, you know,
Right.
there's no way.
Yeah.
But it's hard to convince that to someone else how you feel about someone. Like you could say, like, if you're in a committed relationship and he's freaking out about some guy you work with, and you're like, I don't have any feelings for that guy. But nothing you're gonna say
Right. Yeah.
is gonna make him okay with that shit. You know what I mean? So the emotional affair, I understand why it makes people very uneasy.
Yeah.
But I also want to know who actually talks to their mate, like honestly, like they do their friend, like their best friend. Very few.
Ugh.
Right.
I did today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they got heavy as fuck.
It did.
Okay, because when they ask them, every once in a while, when people keep asking questions and you're like this,
I don't wanna-
you don't
I
really
don't
want me to
wanna-
answer this.
I
You really
don't
don't.
wanna.
Right. And then you
Yeah.
do, and they're like, what the fuck?
Well-
And you're like, well,
Right. Well, in my marriage, I'm learning how to process in real time. Because as
Yeah.
I think I've shared in a previous episode, like I am a next day person.
Right.
So I think that's the therapist in me. I've been trained to like
Right.
give you what you need. But then the next day I'm like, I have thoughts. I have follow up. Right. Well, but like, I'm not mean, obviously. Like, so today I am trying to get increasingly better at processing during a conversation, which is new.
at least getting there,
Yes.
like closer to it.
Right. So today I did what you did on live YouTube. So I'm going to share. I realized that my core belief is that I am not lovable.
Shut the fuck out. For real?
Yes. Today. That's why I was
Just today?
Yeah, today.
Just not lovable.
Yep. Me and my
Is that your DJ name?
don't poke buttons while I'm sharing. Thomas?
When I get uncomfortable, I make
Stop
horrible
it. We do the
fucking jokes.
bones, but stop.
Don't take me to a
So,
funeral.
If we're talking about emotional affairs, like my fear is that I am not lovable because when I am my truest self or my fullest self, I have been like squished.
I misunderstood
See,
you.
I understand
Yes.
that. I
Like,
understand that completely.
That's too much. That's too much. You need to like, we're the puzzle piece, right? Like if I get too big, they're like, you don't fit in, like simmer down, right? So for the first time, I am my full self, unapologetically, like who I am. And he loves me for that. He does.
Yeah.
But the fear that he could love somebody else rocks me to my fucking core.
Seriously?
Yes. Because he is the first person to like accept me for like me and all of my fullness.
Yeah.
So the idea that an emotional affair could take place and he could love and be vulnerable and to another person feels very threatening to me, because now is the first time that I'm like letting down my walls. Here is me with my ridiculous ADHD and emotional erratic behavior. But like, because
get it.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
And now is the first time in my 36 years of existence that I'm like, this is me. Take it or leave it. And he's like, I'll take it. That is super vulnerable for me, because thus far, I have felt like that is not a thing. Nobody can love me for like exactly who I am. I'm too much.
So he actually loves you.
Yes. But what if he actually loves somebody else?
So I'm gonna
Sounds
All
like
right.
self-sabotage.
yeah,
I
I'm gonna fuck
know.
with you a little bit.
All right, go ahead. Have at it. Listen, I talked about it for like an hour. On my way here, I have an appointment with my therapist in 2 weeks.
All right. So
Be gentle with me, Thomas.
I am. The reason I made that joke earlier is when you said you're not lovable, I didn't realize you were saying you don't feel like you're lovable.
Yes.
I was like, of course you're lovable. That's the most fucking
I
ridiculous
right.
shit in the world. Okay, I
My
didn't understand.
fullest self.
I didn't understand what you were saying.
My
I was like,
fullest self. I feel like if I am 100% authentic,
Yeah, people love Ted Bundy. You're okay. You're okay.
They still like versions of him.
I mean, I'm sure.
Right.
I mean,
There are 2 people,
that love Ted Bundy.
no, that I feel like love me unconditionally for my truest self. And I feel like most people...
I think you're selling yourself short.
I don't think that's true. I feel like most people would be able
How do
to
you
count on
engage
one
that?
hand.
How can you gauge it?
Taylor, your 100% authentic self.
I'm honestly with her on this one. I couldn't seriously just sit there and think of like a group of people.
Right. Who knows 100% you?
I would say I could probably say one person.
Right.
Literally just
One or
person.
two. Right.
I couldn't sit there and just name a bunch of people that
No.
would be like
One
oh,
or
yeah.
2 tops.
If I feel like if I could open up to someone, I feel like they would just
Right.
go.
No
Really?
judgment, unconditional, will co-sign your bullshit or call you on your shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
could name like one person. That's it.
I have one, and my husband is like the other half.
You really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this an internal thing or is this like a mathematical thing?
No, it's like
I'm curious.
I give pieces of myself and see if they're going to judge. And if they don't, then I'll give you a bigger piece. It's like breadcrumbing. Not by the same definition, but like I will give you things.
Like
and
test
if
the
you,
water.
Yes. Because people are fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, not to be an asshole, people turn around and weaponize it and bring it back
Yes.
to you.
Right.
And that's most people.
Yes.
So you want to know why people want to talk to a coworker or talk to somebody,
Right.
like talk to someone else is because they don't give a fuck. Because I don't got to wake up next to you weaponizing that to me.
Right.
That girl, I can just be like, block, lost your number, piss
Right.
off.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so circling back a little bit, my brain doesn't work to think that how could he love me and love someone else? Because my thing is this, we talked about it before. How can you love multiple children? How can I love multiple cousins, aunts, nieces, nephews? Your heart is fucking infinite. And I don't know why we hold on to it to such a degree that like it takes from you. And I try to wrap my head around that because obviously I've been in relationships with people who feel that way, and it breaks my heart because I'm like, my brain is like Sheldon. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I can love till the cows come home. I can love infinite. It's infinite. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know why we look at it as such a finite little thing that like, this is it. You can only love me. That's it. Now, deeper, that's a whole nother deep thing. Okay, that's a whole fucking thing to wrap around. But when they were talking about emotional affairs, they said when you share bad things about your relationship and all this, all of a sudden that other person starts looking a lot more attractive to you.
Yeah.
Because you're not.
Because they can provide things.
Well, they
in
seem
that
easy.
context.
They seem easy. They're open ears. They're open ears because they don't have
Well,
to go
and they
hang out with
will,
your
yeah,
family. They're
right.
open ears because they're not dealing with your bad days.
Right.
They're there
or
to
your
help.
kids or
They're there
your
to
job or
help.
they're just
So it's very
they're
easy.
contingently supportive.
Well, a pen pal.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's pen pals for 100 years that they thought they loved each other. They truly, because
Oh,
they
sure.
could
Well,
could
there's
share
online
things.
relationships
It's
if
the
you
same
wanna,
thing.
like-
It's a pen pal, right?
Right.
So I could see where that becomes very easy to have that kind of like, it's like reading a book.
Yeah.
You got the story in your head.
Oh,
It looks
no,
beautiful.
It's a fantasy version
Yes.
of a relationship.
So how much
It's not
of that
realistic.
does fuck up your real life? Now, if he was avoiding you to be on the phone with this person or going somewhere to be on the phone, you know what I mean? Like, or she was doing that to you or something. Like, yes, that affects your relationship. But if you're doing that with your best friend, it would affect your relationship because you're like, dude, I didn't go somewhere tonight. I'm hanging out with you. I'm not out in the garage, and you're just fucking off with them on the phone.
Sure.
It wouldn't bother me because I'm just like, I have a different.
You are unique, Thomas.
I know, in a fucked up way though, because I want you to be you. Mm-hmm. Even if you're kind of fucked up a little bit, I'll be like, hey man, if that's what you need today,
Yeah.
go do it. You know what I mean? Because like, I look at life as a long thing. I don't look at it as like, I think we're told every day,
An
like,
annual
today's your
thing,
last
yeah.
fucking day. And I'm like, yeah, it's also their last day. And if they want to go do something dope, how does that affect you? Like, how do you have such little amount going on in your life that it affects you that? Man, that's how my brain works. You know, so emotional affairs, like I could see where it could definitely make somebody feel small. Like if you don't feel loved, you know, or lovable, that's a totally different thing. And I understand that. So you don't want to do something to make somebody feel like they're not enough. But your sheer existence can do that. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess, and you and I had been talking earlier today about how everybody in different relationships and independent relationships, their line for affairs are different.
Yeah.
So I shared with you that I am working with a client right now that the one partner was texting a best friend and say, "Good night, I love you." And you did that.
Yeah. And I'm very
Right.
open-minded about a lot of
Right.
shit. And I'm going to tell you right now,
That's
That-
too much.
to me,
Yeah.
that's a full-blown relationship. Okay,
Right.
it feels like, oh my God, I fucking love you. You said some fucked up shit, but like, fucking girl, I love that
Right.
shit. You know what I mean? That's
So-
different.
But that is where, as back to counselor Kelly, this is where people struggle. Is like 3 years ago, it was flirty,
Yeah.
and they called their partner on it, and they worked through it, and now 3 years later,
It's still a full-blown relationship.
it's further.
Yeah, that's
so
heavy.
Where is that line?
Depends on how much money you guys have together in a house and kids.
That's shitty.
I know it is,
I
man.
know.
But that's that vulnerability that you put yourself in, and that's why more people aren't dating. That's why more men aren't dating. That's why a lot of that shit is happening, because we do not want to put ourselves in a position to lose our shit or divide our home.
Right.
Absolutely.
Over an emotional relationship.
Over any kind of bump in the road. It doesn't fuck financial. They do it over anything that there's going to throw a shock into their system.
Yeah.
And I understand, but the emotional
Right.
affair, but like,
It
how
hits
okay?
different.
Oh, that
If your girlfriend hooked up with somebody at the bar when she was drunk, you've already said you would come home. She shared that, and you'd be like, "Is this a one and done, or like, do
I'd
we have
figure
an
it out,
issue?"
depending on how much I like
Right.
the girl. If I was already
Right.
on the fence of like, damn,
No,
I
but
kind of
if
hate
you
your
loved
family.
her, and she was going through
Yes.
a hard time, and you were going
Yeah.
through a hard time, and therefore you guys were going through a hard time, you
Yeah.
would be like, "Listen,
Let's figure
is
this
this
out.
it, or?"
Because you're just trading her in for somebody who's going to do it again.
Right.
Not being an asshole.
And if she was
but-
like, "Listen, I was hammered, I was in a bad spot," you know, like,
See, but I just don't think that's really an excuse. I don't know. I see that
Sure.
as like,
I think it's very human, because if 80% of people have had multiple partners at one time, have stepped out of relationships, if most people have done that,
yeah.
it's a pretty normal thing.
well, I just don't see why an excuse like, oh, I did that because we're in a rough spot.
no, that's-
or like I just see.
Dude, I don't know, because listen, you don't, in context of depending on where you are in the relationship, and like, we know couples that have been together for 15, like, you're
Right.
young,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I'm saying there's people that have been together almost yearly that haven't had sex in 20 years with their partner.
Right.
A motherfucker's only gonna go so far, a girl or a guy, before they're like, listen, I got some scratch,
Mike
you know.
Taylor, don't put up with that shit.
No.
If he sleeps with somebody else.
No.
Get the road right. Yeah.
Yeah, and no,
But
the-
yeah, no, I
For legal
but it
purposes,
depends.
it's a joke, but
Okay.
I'll run him over with my
because
car.
the way my brain works, though, I'm like this. I do the math. I'm like, how much of this person do I dig?
Right.
You know
no,
what I mean?
Pros and cons.
And I'm like going like this. So I really dig this person, and I just want to know. I need to know why.
Right. But if you take a step back,
Yeah.
yeah, and understand. But if it's physical,
well,
and it came out of nowhere or it escalated
Yeah, it
quickly,
doesn't really- I've never really experienced
Right.
it to that point, but it was more of like an emotional affair that turned into more.
see, and
You know.
that makes it hard.
Yeah, it didn't make it
'Cause
that
if-
hard
if
for me, but my brain is like fucking.
But if she loves him or if he loves her,
Yeah.
that hits different.
Or you just hate to
I
be a
could
sore
get over
loser.
right. If
you know.
well, yeah. If you like her boobs more than mine, all right.
Man.
I can get over that. But if you like who she is enough to step out of our marriage or our relationship,
Yeah, we definitely make people feel less than, because we base everything about.
that is how.
And
Right.
it is. It's our own little insecurities with ourselves of like, I have to. It would be like if one of my clients gets tattooed by a guy I work with, and like some of his clients come and get tattooed by me. There's people who take that super personal, and we're like this. It's your fucking arm, bro.
Listen,
You know what I mean? So
I had a lengthy conversation with a tattoo artist recently about fixing, like touching up somebody else's work.
right.
That is what you're talking about. So you're there, and I go 2 blocks down the road and have somebody else touch up what you did.
Yeah.
As opposed to come back to you and say, hey, this didn't heal right, or I don't like this. most people, it's my understanding that most tattoo artists, they get icky about
we get icky about everything.
Like,
we get icky if our mom buys our brother something and doesn't get it for us.
Right.
We're a bunch of.
But about your professional work.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you.
And so that's what we're talking about, like with a relationship, is what you bring to the table is, if it is your best foot forward and somebody steps out, that's a dagger to the gut. Oh, yeah.
So one of the people we're talking about personal responsibility in this as well, and they're not saying not take blame for why your person stepped out.
Sure.
But did you have anything to help this along?
Probably.
And some people are like, it doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter what you do.
No,
you should never do. And I was like, you're full of shit.
Right.
You're just full of shit. You know what I mean? That's like, look around. That's the most preposterous. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, come on.
It's never one-sided.
But you have to understand.
It's usually three-sided. It's
how
you, your
open
partner,
are you?
and the third person. Right.
Like, how open are you when they do talk to you? Do you just listen? Do you just try to truly understand how they're feeling? Or you just become mad? Do you immediately... Because, like, there's a lot of judgment. I mean, you know how many people that are into weird kinks and they can't share it with their fucking mate?
No,
and it might be something like, well, I didn't sign up for this. I'm like, well, I didn't know I was like this.
Right.
I'm not talking about me personally, but
I'm exploring with you, and here we are, and I kind of want to try this.
And if you were like, hey, I'm not into that. You could be into that. And we have to figure out...
What are we going to do now?
Yes, because if I was dating somebody and they wanted to fucking jump out of an airplane and start parachuting, I'd be like, that's dope. I'll drive you there. What I want you to do with me? I'm like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm just telling you right now. Unless that motherfucker's on fire, I'm not jumping out of a fucking plane.
You don't jump out of a perfectly good plane?
Fuck no.
I wouldn't either.
No.
No way.
No.
I'll watch you.
I don't go whitewater rafting,
no.
and I don't fucking do that. No.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah, but I'm not going.
Happy birthday.
No, and I would pay for it, but I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
But if somebody was like, well, no, that's fucked up. You have to do what I want to fucking, and I'm like,
well, see, I feel like if you're willing to support them and like, say, like jumping out of a plane, just helping support their passion, you know, not necessarily do it with them, but be there for when they do it. It's different instead of judging them for what they want.
Well, how does it feel like when somebody wants to talk about certain things and you're just annoyed by them and you're fucking eye rolling and you just don't, you're snappy at them or something like that? That's why it's easy. Listen, if you want people to not have emotional affairs on you, maybe be really fucking open with your person and be fucking kind to them. And you can't always be kind to them because you're going to have a shitty day or whatever the fuck's going on.
Sure.
But don't be so fucking surprised when you're kind of like snappy and kind of judgmental. If you're judgmental about everything around you, your coworkers, your friends, your fucking cousins, your family, all that shit, your person isn't going to share shit with you because they're like, dude, everything freaks them out.
Yep.
And that is not a boy thing or a girl thing. Is that fair?
No, that's fair.
Right.
Well, but that just reminded me that I think we have talked about like betrayals of trust.
Yeah.
And often where I feel like people get tripped up because of XYZ, partner A reaches out to external party and vents about partner B.
Well, see, I think,
and then it becomes an issue because, like, if you were talking about the sun, the moon, and the stars, like, whatever.
Yeah, how about them
But
Browns?
if you're talking about me in a negative way, like you've already said, like, don't talk shit. Yeah. Don't talk shit to their face or to anybody else. And if you're reaching out to a person, a potential person of interest, regardless of sex, like whoever you
lover,
right? Like whatever your preference is. That is where it starts to get icky because you are now bitching, venting, sharing negative things. And that's when most people in my clinical work start to like really have an issue. Yeah.
Right. I think it's because it's like, where did that level of comfort come to where you can just go and say that to them, you know? I don't know. I just think it's in a sense.
Well, it's a comfort because they're not judging you.
Well,
they're
I
not
mean,
weaponized, but I'm saying they're not weaponized you. I can say from like, people like to talk to me because I don't weaponize it back at them. I don't fucking judge them. I don't fucking care.
A completely non-biased party.
We all have like a work
person
that you talk to. Like I've worked with the same guy for 20 some years, man.
Right.
Like, and like we know each other's shit. Right. You know what I mean?
Does he co-sign your bullshit or will he challenge you?
No, neither one of us do that. But we'll have each other's back no matter what. We're like, you fucked up, but you my boy, but fuck.
Well,
stop
that's
doing
my best friend. She'll do both.
Right.
Right.
And we laugh because I'll be like, do you want me to tell you that that's okay? Or like, do you want me to be like,
to be honest?
Do you want me to be your therapist or your friend? Because like, that sounds fucked up.
So I'm going to say this. Emotional affairs is a real thing.
Yes.
And you got to also understand that when we say that it's easier to forgive a physical affair than it is an emotional affair, no one's ever asked why. And honestly, I'm going to say no one's ever asked why, but I don't know.
Most people can't decide.
No, and the fact that we can talk about it today and get to that point where it's like, because you can control their physical body, you cannot control their mind. And that's a weird fucking thing. You got to look at yourself too. Is like, why am I trying to control this motherfucker's mind? I do a lot of self-reflecting of like, why am I doing this? Because I want to be a better person. Because I want to be a better dad. I want to be a better grandpa. I want to be a better fucking husband. I just want to be a better person. And it's hard. It is. But in the same breath, it's not that hard when you start breaking it down of like, why am I feeling this way? And why am I trying to why am I trying to control your fucking mind?
Right.
Say that out loud. I want to control how you fucking feel.
Right.
That's weird as fuck.
Heart.
I know,
mind.
but
I know, but like
infinite.
that, it is.
Ready?
It is a.
So you're in a blended family. You came with kids. He came with kids. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So you made the comment of like, I don't want him to love somebody else. You know what I mean? But you want him to love your children.
Yes.
What if his kids are like, I don't want you to love them? That would be hard as fuck, right? That wouldn't make any sense to you at all. That's what I'm saying.
But like, I guess that's my thing. Like, I think that what we're tiptoeing around though is a monogamous relationship versus a polyamorous relationship. Because I want my person to love me in that way exclusively.
Right.
Which is monogamous. Like that is it.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that you're going to love. I'm the only person that you're going to sleep with.
Now, see, that's a different light.
And if that is not your style, then that's a conversation that you have to have, because polyamorous people are like, yeah, you can love multiple people.
See, my sister's actually in one of those relationships, and I try to talk, like I try to reason, like listen to her. I
Understand
can't,
it, right?
But I just can't wrap my brain around it. Like
You can't?
I just don't.
Just for you, you mean like you can't understand it?
Yeah, for
like
myself. Like I try to talk to her, and I'm like, is it? I try to understand. Like you can just see yourself marrying multiple, or I guess being with multiple people for the rest of your life.
Sure.
Like
and vice versa.
Right.
So can they?
She has to share between this guy and someone else.
Yeah.
And they're loving, and I guess
endlessly. That's their perspective.
That's probably the most authentic way of living for most people.
For people who are polyamorous.
I'm saying, but a lot of people, because most people step out of their relationship. I'm not being a dick, but most people do. You wouldn't have a fucking job, and I wouldn't be covering up a bunch of names. Just saying. It's pretty popular. Okay.
Well, yeah.
May or may not have done my cover up.
Right. I'm saying it's pretty popular. But, like, how many people are truly themselves? Like, honestly, you're 19. Have you ever felt like you're truly your fucking self? It'd be really around someone. It's very rare, right?
But she said one person.
Yeah, I would just say really one person.
Right.
Like
Friend?
I can,
Best friend.
I feel like I could just do anything,
one of those.
be anyway.
Yep.
But
I
any
can
other
call her up.
Yes, but anyone else I
Listen,
talk to, I
fucked
feel
up.
like I'm very closed off. I'm careful with what I say or how I act. I just have to read the room before I act a certain way. But with
Now, same thing with you.
Yeah.
Right?
I have my very best, my unconditional best friend.
Yes.
Right.
And then I probably have 3 close friends that I filter slightly, but I still filter.
Yes.
Like, it's still...
And then I question myself because you know my brain works. I go, is
Why do you
that
filter?
living? Is that living?
I know.
And that's where and here's what's funny, because people look at me and they're like, Thomas, you're very deep. I'm like, I'm actually not deep. I'm extremely...
You're actually super open.
Yes. And just because there's
You
nothing
have
there.
one level.
That's it. It's almost, I don't want to say shallow, because shallow sounds like there's nothing there, but it's just like...
You're like a 6-foot pool.
Because people are like,
start
man,
to finish.
You
You're
have
just...
to have a lot going on. I was like, no, I really don't have. And it's very simple. If I care for you, I care for you.
Absolutely.
And I care for most people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I understand, but like walking through this and understanding, like,
yeah, I can imagine that it's hard for you.
It's super hard because people want more out of me, or they think because of what I do, and you know, like, man, you're just deep. And I was like, I'm not deep, man. I'm just.
Yeah. I would like, so next season, I would like us to dive into the Enneagram.
What is it?
The Enneagram. That's the book that I told you.
I was like,
is a really big deal. So
like, was I drinking on that one?
I know. I'm an 8.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
As an 8, my biggest fear is betrayal.
Wow.
Yes. Which is a big,
I would like to think what my fear is.
I would
It
love
tells you what
for
kind
you
of
to
fear
read
you
this
have?
book. And yeah, so it has personality styles 1 through 9. Taylor, you're old enough, you can read it now. Personalities doesn't settle in until like you're like 22 or 23, so keep that in mind. But like,
Yeah.
it is super helpful because it tells you potentially what your biggest fear is, what your deadly sin is, my deadly sin, Thomas, you'll laugh, is lust. Not sexually necessarily, but like that intensity.
Right. That's what gets you going.
That's what gets me going.
Yeah.
That's my downfall.
Yeah.
Is I will just
Your weak
throw
spot.
myself into things. And my biggest fear is betrayal.
Which is a deadly combo.
If you cross me, walls go up, and I'm done. Like, that's it.
I was just actually talking to my friend about this today. I was like, I'm not the type of person to not give up on someone, but like once I do, it's done. Like I will never talk to you again.
Once I pivot.
Yeah. Like I will try for as long as I can, but once I stop, like it's over. I will not care again.
Yeah.
I used to be like that when I was younger, but that was a thing of just the way I was raised. You know what I mean? Like I had to have strong like things. Yeah. But as I became older, I don't put myself. More flexible. Well, I just don't put myself in a position to even give a fuck.
Right.
I mean, truthfully, I'm just like this. How does that actually affect me? Everything comes down to like factual. How does it affect me?
Number you are.
You know, I'm probably like a negative.
We're gonna have 14. To. We're gonna have to read it. But
I'm in a. Yeah. Oh, we're coming to it. We're coming to it. So Jessen was talking in my ear a little bit about some secret sauce stuff.
God, Jay.
So they can't. What?
No.
Oh.
That's a personality thing. That is that.
Is Mike? So you guys can't hear what Mike's saying in our ears. But Mike asked a question that the switch that people just turn stuff off, is it a woman thing that can turn off their feelings? And obviously, Mike, we've never dated dudes.
But
here's the crazy. I can say this. The stories that I heard today, the man she was dating said things that like, I didn't know guys talk like this. Like it was very much, what I've heard from girls. And I was like, so apparently, Mike, it's not just a girl thing, but I know you've only dated girls.
Yeah.
I think people shut stuff off because that wall goes up.
Yep.
And it's fight or flight. So
Yeah, it's survival.
Yeah.
It's survival. If I am vulnerable and you trip that, like a bear trap, like fuck you, I'm done. Like it's we're
like Iron Man suit.
Love you and all, and it's not always mean. It's just like that's it. I cannot. I don't trust you with myself.
Right.
And there is no coming back from that.
And I probably was more like that when I was young, but I'm going to tell you right now.
You would just give it away and give it away?
There's nothing to give away. It's not real. It's not measurable. You're not taking anything unless you're stealing my fucking pension, unless you're taking my actual money or taking my actual
your
stuff.
Heart?
No, it's
doesn't
not,
matter.
It's not measurable.
It's just on
my heart
the
has
curb?
been broken so many times in my life, and it's never been broken more than it currently is. And I'm gonna be honest with you. But in the same breath, my love and respect for that person, and like, truthfully, it still does not take anything from me because I'm still me. I always say it. I've almost died so many times that I'm like, what can you fucking take from me? Like if. Remember what you said, it's how you allow someone to hurt you?
Well, sure.
Okay,
yeah.
So my thing is this. What are we measuring this with? I have a lot of calipers. I have tape measures. I have scales.
Yardstick, I guess.
Right, a life
weight,
stick.
A digital weight of some sort.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you break it down to like, what can someone really unless you're physically being abused or mentally being abused. And once you get away from that person, but like, what is anybody ever really taking from you? Unless you give it to them, you're giving them the power.
Sure.
And I'm not saying just be
a big mind game.
Yeah, and for me, because of my fucking Sheldon brain, and because of me, you know what I mean? Because I'm just like this. Yeah, it doesn't really affect me. I've had to like fake being emotional about
you
stuff.
Can shut it off.
No, it's not.
Well, I guess
there.
you would have to turn it on, right?
So,
but like for me, I am super emotional, just deeply rooted. I like my surface level. I don't
have feelings. Like I have very strong feelings.
Right.
But what I allow, like my own self-worth. Listen, I got a little caught up in my head last week about something, and I had to like walk it back in my head. And by the time I got a message back, I was like, yeah, I was just fucked up in my head. She's like, hey, what's up? And I was like,
spewing shit.
I'm going to just put that 14-year-old Tommy back in the fucking box.
Why?
Because it was in my
that
own
wasn't
head.
real?
No, I was
Or
reading,
that was
I was
super
reading
vulnerable?
into something. I was just reading into something, which wasn't fair. When you read into something without having facts behind it, and then you put it on someone else to explain to you, it's kind of a dick move. I'm sorry. It would be like your boss going, I need you to explain to me why you stole. And you're like, I didn't fucking steal. Well, I need you to show me that you didn't steal. And you're like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
It's like being blindsided constantly. And when people do that, I don't appreciate it, so I don't want to do that to someone else. But being vulnerable, I'm super vulnerable. I've never been more vulnerable in my fucking life. I realize this is the first time I've ever fucking tried and truly fought for a relationship in my entire goddamn life.
Yep.
You want to talk about some uncharted fucking territory? And I'm trying to do it like with charts. You know, I'm trying to map it out
how
like
that works.
I'm gonna. Well, I'm being.
But you're trying.
Yes, and it's so weird for me because I'm normally like this. I'm like Willy Wonka. Like, no, stop, don't do that. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I have that Buddhist kind of mentality of like, I want you to go where you want to fucking go.
You go, let me go, and we'll just love each other at the end of
It
the
is
day.
what it is.
Well, that's the unique part about the Not So Tender podcast right now, because
Yeah.
you are charting uncharted territory,
Yeah.
and so am I.
Yeah, it's very not tender.
It's right. It is very not tender, and both of us are very much in love
Yes.
and have seen a light at the end of the tunnel. But we are in the trenches
It's a
right
tunnel,
now.
though.
It is, and we're both trying to be emotional and tap into something that
It's hard.
we haven't in the
Yeah.
past, or haven't had success in.
Well,
in
being
the past.
super vulnerable. I've had great relationships in my life, but I mean, this one, it just hit me harder. You know what I mean? It's
Yep,
just more.
hit you different,
Well,
right.
just because it just the amount of how we kind of mesh very well together, and I just didn't really enjoy it. So I don't know how else to say it besides that. So if you're having an emotional affair, maybe fucking dial it back. Maybe figure out if you would appreciate that done to you, and maybe understand. And like, here's the other thing. If somebody's going to tell you why they're doing it instead of just being mad and being a dick, you got to kind of like understand it. You know, like, why does your fucking kid talk to their aunt or their uncle more than you? Because they're not fucking grounding them.
Yeah.
They're not coming at them hard.
Right.
We've all talked to our aunt and they're like, baby, it'll be okay. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But if you talk to your mom about it, she's like, so I'm a fucking horrible mom? Or I'm a fucking, you know what I mean? It's like,
They
who wants to
gaslight you
fucking
and
do
they
that?
get you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing applies to someone you're fucking.
Yeah.
I know we don't look at it that way, but everything that you hate that your fucking parents do, you're probably fucking doing to your mate.
Right.
I heard an interesting thing the other day that fucked me up. Like, for real. And it says if you grew up with an angry man in your house, there's always a fucking angry man in your house.
Forever.
And if you grew up with a cheating man in your house, there's always a cheating man in your fucking house. And I'm going to tell you right now, get the fuck over that. Figure it the fuck out. Because if you only have that lens on, you are going to torture every person you're ever fucking with. And it is shitty. It is shitty.
We had very different takeaways to viewing that.
My thing is this. You grew up with a strong man in your life, right?
I did.
Good man.
Yes.
Okay.
2.
Ready?
Dad and stepdad.
So you grew up with your mom had good
Yep.
taste.
Yes.
Good on her. Ready? So you've given men way more leeway than most women would ever give men because you see the goodness in them and you will fight for them. And
That's
you'll,
true.
Okay. There you go. If you grew up with a shitty man, they always got to prove themselves. They're always on the fucking ass end of it. That's what I'm saying. Because you grew up with a good man.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? You grew up with a good man.
Right.
I grew up with a fucking good mom. You know what I mean? There's certain things about
I had
my
two
mom.
good moms, too.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right. I was very blessed. Right.
What I'm saying is, like, I give, like, my mom's got her faults like any person does, but her good outweighs her fucking bad 1,000 to 1. Does that make sense?
I guess I saw a similar or the same potentially video.
I heard it from a friend.
that like
Yeah.
hit me. I saw it on TikTok. Like hit me hard. What my takeaway was the clinical perspective that you marry what you grew up in. So
I mean,
right.
I could see that a
Right.
little bit.
So you allow what you have seen other people allow.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that's real. I mean, because that's
Right.
what you're used to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if your
And
dad
it seems
cheated
like
on your
normal. It
mom
seems like
and
a normalcy.
he was abusive or an alcoholic, you marry that. So if there's an abusive man in your house, there will always be an abusive man in your house.
Yeah, I
unless
wasn't
you-
saying it. I was saying that's the lens. where they say, why do I always end up with the same guy? I'm like, you don't. You just find that in that. There's no way you're going to find the same fucking person repeatedly. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
You just fixate it. And you look for it in it.
Absolutely.
Like
I
if
think
everyone,
that's a two-sided coin, I guess is what
I'm not
we're
saying
both
it's
saying. Right,
absolute, but I'm saying, look, just pay attention.
Right.
If
If your dad was a dick and cheated on your mom, you're going to look for that, or
trust.
you're going to find that.
Every woman
One
that
of
I've
the
ever
two
met that grew up in a home that hated men,
Yeah,
we do not do well.
correct.
We do not, because it's always, I'm like, look, I'm not going to be treated that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I look at stuff like that, if that's what you're used to, I understand you're going to feel comfortable in it. If you're used to chaos, I know people that grew up in chaos, and they're going to bring chaos. They're going to have too many animals. They're going to have too many things. They're going to do all this crazy shit because it's chaos. If they grew up peacefully, they want to be peaceful. They want to have as much calm. But if that's all you see in that person,
Well, yeah.
that's fucked up.
Well, we've talked about that. If you dig, you'll find something.
Yeah, always.
If you are looking for an issue, you will find an issue, or you will fabricate or create an issue.
Speaking of creating issues, the reason why Taylor's here, there's many reasons, but listen, boys. I don't know if girls send messages like this shit, but when I walked in the room, Taylor was saying some messages that these boys that she doesn't know will just send her on social media. And I sat there and I was like, I am going to make all my daughters get off the fucking...
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just getting my tattoo, and I don't remember what me and Jake were talking about that brought it up, but I was like, listen, you gotta read. I was like, you gotta listen to this. So I pulled it up and I was reading it, and he popped on the corner. He said, what did you just say?
I was like, what the fuck was that?
And I just reread it, and he was like, no.
Can we take a break before?
Yeah, we're going to
get
take
into
one
the
quick
messages?
break, and then we're going to come back with Taylor's messages.
Oh, with all the juicy, right?
Oh, we're back.
We're back.
So,
Not So Tender podcast.
Welcome back. Today on the Not So Tender podcast, we're going to go over Taylor's unsolicited DMs. So, boys, I'll be honest. I'm so tempted to fucking take screenshots of this shit and literally post your dumb ass.
I want usernames.
I'm so... Listen, if you think we should do that, for real, I want you
Call
to
in,
text this
right.
number. Text it. Just send a text and say,
Spill
fucking
it.
put their asses out there on blast.
It.
So it's 234-200-5949. He's going to put the number up on the screen. Send a text. And if you think we should, I'm sure Taylor wouldn't care about putting them on blast.
I'll just send them in.
Right.
She'll also text the number.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm like,
Taylor.
I need to know minimally. I need to know the social media platform.
Where it came from?
Yes, that's what I need to
It
know. Can
comes
you do
from my Facebook. Like, they'll just I don't even know who they are. I'm not friends with them. They will just simply send me a message. It can be on Instagram.
On Facebook.
Yeah, or Instagram, sometimes Snapchat.
Let's hear
That's what
one.
I need to know. Yes, please. Please.
This shit.
I had this guy text me once, and he said, okay, not gonna lie, I'd eat your ass on a platter, no ketchup.
Right. Right.
No ketchup.
Like, is that a real, like, does that work?
Well, it never got a response, so I guess not.
No. Would that have
You
worked on
respond-
you?
No.
No.
I'm asking.
Absolutely
It would not have worked
no.
on me.
That
either.
was his lead.
Word for and then
Right.
that wasn't all of it.
Would ketchup be a good condiment anyways? I
Ketchup
mean,
is always a good condiment. Maybe
Depends on who
not
you
on
ask.
your bowl.
That's what I'm thinking.
I didn't answer, so literally 2 days later, he said, I would drag my balls across broken glass just to smell the chair you just got up from.
Yeah. So you wonder why I was like, what
that
the
was
fuck?
that was what I was reading to Jake when he's like, what did you just say? And I was like, oh, let me just read that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
To smell the chair you just got up from.
Listen, ladies, raise your sons fucking better. Breed better. Give them some better enlightenment that they wouldn't speak
Taylor.
to somebody that way.
I read that.
That is some guy unhinged.
I read
Like,
that, and
just-
I was just like, I'm going
How
back
old
to
is
bed.
this
So
guy?
you didn't respond to the first one.
No,
so
I
that
didn't
was
respond
his
to the second one
shot.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, the second one, she's like, what's up? Dude, I would just send them my fucking Cash App. I'd be like, yo.
Listen, that
Okay.
is a new
One
thing.
time.
I was gonna say I have seen women who are
One
like,
time.
"Here's my Cash App. If you
One
want me to
time,
respond."
this guy was like, I will send you $120 if I can see your toes.
No.
My grandma was sitting
So you
My
set your
grandma was
cash
sitting
app.
next beside me, and I said,
No, you did not.
easiest
Did he
one
send
I,
$120?
that was the easiest $120 I ever made.
Did you split it with your grandma and just buy her lunch or something? Some
Right,
Tudor's
just by
Biscuit
her
World?
cosign that she was like, okay, but Taylor, we could go get good lunch. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
need
we went to Texas Roadhouse after that.
there you go.
Fucking great.
That was the easiest 120 I ever made.
All right.
I didn't even feel bad about it.
Why
No,
would you?
why would you? He offered.
You didn't try to solicit it from him.
I saw that and I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Deal.
I was like, this is gonna be fun.
Just a one time.
Yeah, that was one time, but it was funny.
He didn't
And it was her
respond. It
feet.
was like,
It
I'll
was
give
my
you
grandma's
another. Oh, it was her.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It
missed
wasn't
that
mine.
part.
It was
Okay,
my
well.
grandma's. We were sitting. I was actually in West Virginia. We were sitting on the porch drinking coffee. It was literally like 9 a.m. And my phone, like me and my grandma were having this heart-to-heart conversation, and my phone went off. And that's what it said. He said, "I'll pay $120 to your fee." And I was like, "Grandma."
That's some fucking Appalachian shit right there. For real.
I was like, I have to. And
She allowed you. She was like, all right, go ahead.
She didn't really have a say. I was like, sorry, Grandma. Thanks for your toes.
You're famous now.
I was like, thanks for your toes.
Jeez.
But we went out for lunch after that, so she should be grateful.
That's true.
That's pretty good.
That is good. Congratulations to you
All right.
and your grandma.
And Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, thanks for
Absolutely.
the
Got that good
toes.
bread.
I wasn't sending my own toes. No way.
No,
No.
that's creepy.
No, my
I
grandma.
have so many women in my
grandma's
life
toes
that
were
are
better.
like, if that's all I need to do
This
is
girl,
paint my toes.
this girl I work with, this guy asked her. He was like, "I will send you $500 if you step on cake and send it to
Well,
me."
I was gonna say
And
it's
she
all
did it.
about
And
like
he sent her
what you
$500.
do with your feet.
Yeah, so there's this thing called
Poor-
Feet Finder. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
So it's
I am
literally.
familiar. I
Yeah.
haven't done it, but listen,
Anywho.
times are hard.
There's this app. It's called Feet Finder, or I think it's a website, but it's just Feet Finder, and it's literally where you just sell feet pics. And like these people that have feet fetishes will just send a request, like step on cake.
Step on cake.
So
I'm gonna
pour
ask another
ice
question.
cream on them.
What would you do if you were dating a guy or married to a guy who was into that?
see,
You've had it.
I was talking
I did
to a
too
guy
in high
once.
school, but go ahead.
I was talking to a guy once, and he was like very, very into feet. I personally don't like feet. I think it's just not me. I don't really like to look at my
Right.
own. But he was like,
Jesus. Here we go.
Buckle down.
I was sitting in the shower. I was taking a shower, and he knocked on the door, and he was like, "I really want to suck your toes." I'm not even joking.
Right.
That's exactly how it went. And I was taken off for a second, like it took me. But I was like, I didn't want to like my face to change. I didn't want to make him feel like he was wrong for wanting that.
Right, yeah.
But I was just like, is that something you're into? And he was like, yeah. And I like try to. I went for it, okay?
Sure, right, yeah.
I'm
right.
not really into it, but I was like, if it's something he wants to try, whatever, okay?
After
Right.
the fact, you were still not into it.
No, I don't like it. Please never stick my toes in your mouth ever again. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
No. I don't. No. Mm-mm.
So
I sat in the shower and definitely
weirded
washed
out.
that away. I
Yeah.
was like, never again. And I was just telling him, I was like, it's not. I was like, I was willing to give it a try, but
Would you
Gotcha.
be willing to do it?
no.
It was too far past your comfort zone.
I really didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling.
Well, yeah, 'cause, I mean, there's a big gray area
Yeah,
where, like, if
100%.
you're into it and I'm not against it, I can allow it.
I know I'm not a feet person, but like, I've never really had like someone tell me that, so I was like,
Yeah, why
I'm
not?
Give it a
willing
whirl,
to,
right?
if you're something you're into, I'm willing to I guess give it a try.
Yeah.
I can't. No, I hate feet that much.
People get turned off by a lot of weird things or turned on by a lot of weird things, I've noticed. Like, I had a client, she was talking about her dude, and he started chewing tobacco, and she's like, I just don't want to make out with him.
Spit
You know what I mean? And I was like, well, how do you fucking deal with that?
actively while he's chewing,
Well, just even,
or just
you know,
like ever.
ever. And I'm like,
I
well,
don't-
how's that going to work?
I don't like spit. Like when you, if I'm dating you and you have a soda bottle somewhere around your house,
It's kind of weird.
it hits an immaturity level.
I
for
think
me.
it's because I grew up in West Virginia. It doesn't bother me. I really don't. I don't mind it. I
We're
think it's
used
'cause-
to it.
Yeah, I think it's just.
I mean, I'm
normal
not
me.
used to making out with dudes who chew tobacco, but
I am.
But you've been to many a house where there's a spit bubble.
Oh yeah,
I think clients that
we
come
have.
in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have. My grandpa, he
Yeah.
does have spit cans all over the place or bottles. My ex had it too. It doesn't bother me. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're
I don't
used to
like it. I don't like it.
Right.
If it sits and it's stale.
Well, it's like dating a
and it,
farmer. If he
like-
smells like cow shit because he works with cows,
Well,
and
that
you're
doesn't
used to
bother
it.
me.
But I'm saying, but
Right,
you're
yeah,
used
right.
to. But if you're used to that,
Right.
It's just whatever you're used to.
Right.
But I was more curious, like how people, if they found out their dude was sending a girl money for their feet, they would not be okay with that shit.
No.
Like, you guys are like, no,
Wait.
no.
If your partner, your
it's
male
behind your
partner,
back.
whoever's partner, was sending money to somebody else in order to get
Yeah.
pictures,
Let's go one deeper.
go ahead. I don't know if we should.
What if he's into feet and you're not into him fucking with your feet?
Well, see, this is actually what I was gonna say. I feel like it has to be a communication thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a level of, because I'm not willing to, or I'm not open to satisfying that kink you have. You know, if that's something like,
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like it's something you'd have to openly
Alright.
communicate.
I was just curious.
Now, if it was something like behind the back, I feel like that's totally different. But I
that's a
feel like
big
it'd be an
difference.
open communicate thing.
So he comes into the shower and he's like, "Hey, I would like to try this." And
This
you're
little
like,
piggy
"All
went to
right,
the market. This little piggy
I'll
went
give her hell." And after the fact, when you gave it your best effort, you're like, "I'm sorry, like that was uncomfortable for me." And he was like, "Okay." 4 days later, he's like, "Taylor, this is like a thing, though."
See, that's exactly.
And so I found a website that I am going to, I guess here's my catch up, because this is a lot of women's catch up. Like it is, you can watch free porn or you can go pay for a stripper. He could watch foot videos for free.
Freefoot.com.
Yeah.
Or he could pay somebody.
See, but-
like that hits
That
different.
makes it.
Okay,
Does it?
It does.
This
yeah.
is what I've always said, because my ex, he would pay for OnlyFans and stuff, and I think paying for it and like watching it for free is like different. I
Yes,
really do.
you're
'Cause, like,
going above and beyond.
You're paying for someone you actually want to see and
Well,
entertain, or
per request.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
There
It's
are
different.
categories for that. Like you can just
See,
type in
I
shit.
know, like my sister, she's like really weird. Like she does not like it when whoever she's talking to watches porn or something. See, me
Yeah.
personally, I don't mind it.
We've talked about that a lot on
have.
the show.
It doesn't. I don't mind
continue
it.
to talk to that. Talk
It's
about
still a
that
thing?
lot. It is.
See, I don't mind
Well,
it.
clinically, I'm growing and trying to understand, and different relationships
Yeah.
have different understanding. I've talked to my husband about it.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued because it is a common issue.
in
in
it's bonkers
relationships.
to me. You know what I mean? But like we've talked about this
Right.
shit like crazy.
But like paying, so that continues to be a hiccup. If you're it's free.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. Like you could look up whatever the
I know
fuck.
this. I'm not going to subscribe to somebody's OnlyFans.
I just-
money?
I just
I'm not
think-
going to, even as a single guy. it's not
No,
for me.
money.
I
You
think
could find that
I
for
think
free.
the paying is something totally different.
Yes.
I don't like that.
Right. And I don't like if I asked you to really explain why, I'm sure you'd struggle to even have a real reason why.
I just personally, I don't know. I just really don't like the fact that you're paying to see someone else. You know, I don't.
I know that, but what I'm saying is like a real like I understand you don't like it. But if we try to figure out why we don't like it or why we're not okay with it, like it's hard to
I think
it's
it
hard
comes
to
down to insecurity in a way.
Okay. So that way, I mean, because you're purposely, because it feels like porn is such a, like, if a free porn just feels like you stumbled across some Playboy magazines. But if you're like, you sent for pictures of this specific girl. That's
it.
what I'm saying.
That's it for me.
Yeah,
So
I
if
think
if you don't like Pornhub, which is free, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you submit to something
Right.
so that you can have access to it,
Does
even
it just feel dirtier?
even that hits different than requesting from a singular human, hey, will you
It's
do
that access.
this?
It's that access shit.
Will you
isn't
do
it?
this? Right. Will you step on cake? Will you paint your toes
No.
green?
I had delicious
Will
piece of cake
you?
today. I
But
don't
you
wanna
know what I
step
mean?
on
Like it is a specific request from a human that you are then engaging in and paying for. That is where most people
the
get
intent.
caught up. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's the request and I don't know what.
It's hard. It's hard to describe, isn't it?
I know.
It just feels icky.
Well, because that's how sex is, right? Like, hey, can I do this? Hey, was that okay? Hey, do we have a safe word? Hey, do we? And like, if it's outside of that and you are paying somebody else to give you that 10% that you can't get from your partner and you're paying for it.
It's very specific, isn't it?
It feels like prostitution.
And they make a lot of money, so there are a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of girls who subscribe to OnlyFans.
Listen,
yeah.
Right.
All right.
It's not a one-sided thing.
That never comes up in therapy, but I'm sure that's a population.
For sure. All right, let's get another one.
What's another one?
You sick fuckers.
Men, do better.
I had another guy text me. He said, I'm trying to get over my ex while she's sitting next to me, so I'm hitting you up. He said, so I'm hitting you up. And honestly, that bothered me.
No
shit.
No.
I actually
Responded.
no. Well, I screenshotted it and I went to his Facebook and I found his and I sent it to her. I sent it to her because
What
Listen.
did she say? Now pull up her response. What did she say?
she. Well, I didn't feel
She
so.
was
I left
sick.
it alone after that because she said, "Well, I cheated first, so you do whatever you got to do, you guys."
That's what she said?
Yeah, she told me. She said.
So
She
she
told me
had
to
it
stay
coming.
out of. She said, "Stay out of it. I cheated first." So,
Oh, fuck.
so I said,
That's some real shit right
Ladies.
there. That's some real shit right there. She was like this. I can't talk
Mind
shit to
your
that
business.
motherfucker. So listen.
"Well, see, I was just trying. Like, I just don't like that. Like, you know, the way he came at it about it, I was like, I don't like that.
Through Facebook?
Yeah. So yeah, I did.
How brave. How
I mean,
fucking
say it with your whole
brave.
chest. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what though?
just-
Some girls that if they're like, say you were in a relationship and you were like, fuck it, he's cute. He would probably seem more valuable to you because he's in a relationship. So he's not going to fuck with you. You could just have that moment with him and leave it there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
We've talked about that
Yeah.
last episode, I think.
So that's like, you know,
Even out,
right. You're both on.
we both have
Yeah.
something to lose.
So maybe that's why. I like that she was like, just I cheated first.
Yeah, she
Mind your
said I
business.
cheated first. So
Holy shit.
I was like, you know what? Never mind.
That's pretty fucking bonkers,
Oh my God.
right? Like, how do you...
Lord.
I will say this. If you're brave enough to cheat in 2023, you better pick. Like, I can't even wrap your head because every story I hear at the shop, they always will message your person.
Every time. You will get caught up. I would
Always.
say nine times out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's not like back in the day.
No.
Nobody has to dig on shit. People rat people out. I don't mean that to be rude, but like, you know, like they're
Dude,
quick
he
with
was
it.
dancing
Like,
with his girl in the same minutes that he was responding. He'd go to the bathroom and respond back to my client with hearts and slow dancing with his girl in the kitchen.
So yeah, I just don't like that.
Like, it's out there.
That's
It's not.
icky. Why would you have any interest in that? Really?
No.
No.
Ugh, she didn't know. She had a mutual friend that goes, "You're talking to who? Blah, blah, blah." Well, he's dating blah, blah, blah. He just posted this. And she's like, look at these time differences.
That's crazy.
And then,
That's gross.
And then she confronted him and he blocked her.
Well, that's, you know, that brings me, the other day, my friend, we were at the Sheets right across from my house, and this guy came up in a car, and he asked for a Snapchat. Literally, I kid you not, the next day, they were talking about hanging out. He literally took her for a ride in his car. Literally the next day, just yesterday, went to a firework party. This guy was there with 2 kids and a whole girl.
He didn't know you were.
Oh, he saw me. And
Like a whole family.
a whole family, 2 kids and a girlfriend. I called her and I said, "You're never gonna believe this." And she was like, "What?" And then I FaceTimed her. I said, I said, "Look."
Dude.
Like,
And
you're
like-
my spirit animal. It's
That
just like,
Appalachian
I have
shit,
nothing
dude.
right now.
I don't care. Like, I really.
Why would you?
I was like,
He
literally,
did
look.
it. He fucking did it.
Because I was like, you're never. Well, at first I was like, "You're never gonna guess this year." Like, I promise you, I got out of my car and I was staring at him. I was like, this the whole way I was
Did he
You
walking.
should have had
recognize
her
you?
snap
Oh yeah,
him.
he was
Oh,
we were staring back
yes,
at
he
each
did.
other. Oh, I did not break eye contact once, and I literally was like,
Shut
I
the
called her.
fuck
She didn't
up.
answer me the first time. I called her again. I said, "You're never gonna guess. Look." And she was like, "Those are 2 kids."
Video switch.
I said, I was like, "Those are 2 kids and a whole girl." And then he ended up texting her, and he was like, it's not what you think. He said we were trying to work things out, and he's like, I regret.
Today we were.
What's
trying to
Independent Day?
Well, because he literally asked her. He said, "Let's go get coffee."
America.
I want some fireworks. My kids like fireworks.
Yeah, he was.
I don't really want to watch them, so I got to bring her.
Well, he was saying she was texting. So her baby dad's in jail, and apparently she was texting him off JPay and saying that she was going to buy a house with him. And
many red flags.
And then,
JPay. Anybody who knows what JPay is, automatic red flag.
I don't even know what JPay is.
I do.
it's where you.
Both y'all.
I do.
I'm out.
Automatic red flag. If you know what
JPay is where you talk to people in jail. It's where you pay. You have to pay to talk to them, but no biggie. Anywho, they were.
Listen, it's like stamps, right? Like,
I live my own world. I do.
Well, apparently he caught her like talking about buying a house, and then they decided to work things out.
This is his kid's mom? Wait, I'm confused.
He's got a baby dad. She's got a baby dad with someone
she
else.
was in prison, or
No, her baby
her
dad's
baby dad was in prison.
Yeah, and she's on JPay texting him like, "Hey, we're gonna get this house together."
with the guy that is in prison.
But but she's also with this guy that was, we met at
Who was
Sheetz.
with your friends.
Yeah, he literally was
I didn't know
like,
which girl. I didn't know if your girlfriend was saying this
Oh, no.
or his girlfriend was saying.
I saw him and I was like walking in the hallway, and then I was like, oh, I'm telling. So I pulled out my phone and I FaceTimed her and I was like, look at this. And then she was like, so how was your family outing?
No,
I'm
y'all
so
are savage as fuck.
She texted him. She was like, how's your family outing? And he was like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, hang on, I got you. He's literally
Send a
sitting
picture,
beside
right,
me.
yeah.
And
No.
I went like this. I said,
No, you did not.
I promise you. And I sent it to her.
No fucks given.
I don't care.
Right,
but
yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
Yeah, cry. I don't care.
She's like, I met you at Sheetz.
You're like,
Off.
Yeah.
like,
This was not.
fuck around, I'll be messaging you with JPay.
So I literally told her, I was like, here, send that to him. And then she sent it to him. She was like, that's what I mean. He was like, oh, it's not what you think. And then he was like, we're in the middle trying to work things out, but I'm not sure. He was like,
I'm sitting right next to her, but I'm not feeling it. What's up?
yeah, he was like, we're trying to work things out, but I'm not sure. He's like, I regret it. And then she was like, you don't regret anything.
Actively. Today.
Like this literally happened in the span of like,
Dude,
Right.
listen.
I mean, we're not talking like 6 months ago where you're like, listen, I tried, it didn't work, and then I
no, they
met
literally
you.
had a fight.
It's like I met you, and then I went to a family party with
So-
kids who aren't his.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe he
trying to
wasn't
work it
that
out.
involved with her. Maybe he's one of those
They've
kids
been
that sees
together
the
for 4
fireworks.
years.
Well, that doesn't mean he's that involved.
They're living together.
Listen, we've had presidents for 4 years.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
they're
feel that
living
involved with them.
They're living together, everything. like,
They live together?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't see. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
no, they live together.
Are you moving in? Because you can just like film him all
Oh
the
my
time.
god.
I
Is he
will.
polyamorous? He's just looking for
Well,
another.
we always say most people in an open relationship, just the other person doesn't know.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah.
It's
that is
true.
not
It's
the
very true.
definition.
Oh, sorry.
It is now.
I know, right? I love your savage little
defin-
ass. That's hilarious.
The definition of cheating. If one person
see, me
is in an open
personally-
relationship and the other person is not.
Me personally, I just think it was a bump in the road.
It is.
What?
Go.
Hold on, Taylor. So you could have been in that situation.
No,
and
she's
you're
meaning
like,
she
no,
would
that's
run
fine.
him over with her car.
Yeah, it's a little bump in the road,
Oh,
you know?
there you
This
go.
is bump.
Didn't see that.
Oh, so no fucks given.
No.
You know where she's from? Dude.
I've heard. I'm
Listen,
learning.
If you're going to tell me.
Listen,
No, you don't
you're
understand.
my spirit
sister-
animal and new best friend.
my sister
Thank
was
you for
telling-
inviting her today on the show.
My sister's telling me when she got cheated on with her boyfriend cheated on with another girl. And I was like, put it in reverse, hit her with your car. Literally run her over. I don't care.
How many?
Get her out of the way.
So you asked early on in this episode how many people have died of gun violence, car
Listen.
violence.
Before?
Not enough.
Has anybody
Before
in
I
your
go.
life?
Well, it's about to. Before I go, if I'm like when I know I'm about to die, I promise I'm getting in my
just
car
hitting
and I'm
people,
running.
just
I'm
fucking
putting that thing in
rogue.
reverse.
Right.
She's gonna test drive like a fucking that King Ranch Ford
And
truck,
then-
like a big
Oh my God,
fucking.
yes.
I'm gonna take my car.
No, I want her
outside.
to drive like a big like DeVille.
Oh.
And just like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him with my
mean-
Ford Escape. I don't care.
She's like, okay.
I'm putting it in
Hit 'em?
reverse.
Ford no escape.
I'm gonna put it in the reverse
And
and then be
reverse.
like, "Ooh,
You're just
didn't
gonna,
see you there."
Oh, okay. There you go.
And then I'm gonna keep going. You know, buff it out later, but
Shit.
keep going.
Forward has a lot more like.
Well, you got to go
Meaning to it.
backwards to go forward. You know what I'm saying? You got to back up.
You have to hit them and then reverse over them.
You gotta really hit 'em where
It
it
beats
hurts.
throwing them in a closet. Just saying.
Just leave them there.
Just saying.
Listen.
All
All right. Do we have any more?
Oh yeah, we do.
She's like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah. We're gonna have a little segment called
I just
"Keeping Up
want to
with
get
Taylor."
on. I just want to get on a dating site just so I can bring this.
That's not a
This is-
fucking dating site. That's what's fucked up.
This
I
is-
know.
This is my best one.
Listen, I don't get that. So I have intentionally posted profile pictures of like me and my husband. The day I put just a profile picture of just me.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, it's
pop. I mean, I only had like 4 or 5 because like it's still
Yeah.
When I
present.
was-
But like if you
weird.
switch it, do you as a male?
Nobody fucks with me. I'm like a serial killer, dude. People look at me and they just.
Well,
want
but you
food.
went from having like a
know.
public relationship to not.
No, because they knew. They knew. And I don't
Right,
entertain that shit.
yeah.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm
Right,
not. I,
okay.
like, honestly,
I'm
I became
genuinely
very
curious.
fucking brutal because somebody was like, oh, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. And I straight up looked at them and went, why would you know?
Why is that your?
And they were like,
Right.
what? And I was like, why would you know?
I just assume I have too many fucking kids for most people
That
to
does
fuck
not
with.
mean you're super friendly.
They just like scroll through.
She obviously
there's, like,
puts
listen.
out shit.
No, I have 3 children from my first marriage.
That's all right.
All from my marriage.
My mom popped
One
out
baby
10.
daddy.
They all
No,
came- hey,
no offense.
They
but,
all
like,
came from the same way of doing it. Just let you know.
What with one guy?
What doesn't matter?
It does
We talked
matter.
about
I
the-
am proud
Hey,
to say all
no,
of my
because then
children.
that makes other people look bad.
I apologize to the
Listen,
general
when we talk
public.
about linear foot, that's all that matters. Okay, how much has actually been tracked in and out? All right.
We don't.
All right. So
Taylor,
what's your next one, Taylor? Oh, she's yes.
Read the next. The
Like
next. Listen.
This is the best one.
The best one
Oh yeah, this one was funny. I read it to him earlier.
It's pretty good.
on Facebook. I need to know the platform.
Yeah, this is on my Facebook.
Listen, I was like, are you just like in booty shorts on your Facebook?
I know.
It's
I
like
need to
acting-
see like your profile.
My
picture.
Facebook is literally my profile. My background picture is my sisters, and my profile picture is me and my 2 sisters. Like that's it.
That's what I need to know.
I had this guy text me. He said, like, goddamn, for real, girl, you are something else. I would throw myself in a wood chipper on the off chance I would be recycled into toilet paper just for a slim chance that I could slide between them cheeks one time.
No boys had that kind of fucking swagger when you were younger, did they?
No.
They were like this. Hey, you want to go see Depeche
all I
Mode?
keep so my oldest teenage son is 16. Well, about to be 16, and that
Scares you to death.
is my world's worst nightmare. Please do not. I'm gonna have to tell him how to hit on females
Like
because that ain't it. No.
Yeah,
Did you
100%.
respond?
Well, no, but now I could be like, want to get married?
Shit.
Tell
You're
him.
like,
Say,
hey.
here's my phone number, and
No.
text him that number.
Yeah, you know what I would do? I'd fucking go, hey, I just got a wood chipper. Let's see if this works out.
The best part was after each time he would put the emoji. He would throw,
Which emoji?
He put the eggplant, the toilet paper, wood log. Well, that's not what he said. He said, like, if we were dinosaurs, you would be a help. I can't stop a coming god, and I'd be like,
What?
it didn't make sense. It's nothing space, so I didn't.
Saurus?
Lickatoposaurus is what he
Oh my god.
He said I would be a Lickatoposaurus.
That's a pretty, like, Mike, you were around when dinosaurs were around. Is that a real thing? No, he's shaking his head.
Yes. Taylor, I am going to need you to start responding and say, hit me up and give them that phone number.
No. Oh, this is my cell.
Thomas,
Do it. This is my cell. 234-200-5949.
please.
One time, I had this guy text me, and he was sending me all kinds of stuff, and he was like, "Let me get them digits." I 110% sent him my ex's number.
Taylor
Kudos.
She fucking
Kudos.
wins.
I did. I sent him my ex's number.
Because you don't give 2 fucks.
No, I don't. I don't care anymore. I don't.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
right?
I learned that. Like, I stopped caring. Like, it's pointless.
You win. I
You win.
sent my ex the crisis line, the suicide hotline. I was like, here you go.
I have done that twice.
There you go. Right. They're super
And-
helpful.
and
once they...
I sent him my therapist's number, and I was like,
Yes.
seek help.
234-200-5949.
Text these people, they give a fuck, because
Don't
I do not.
fuck with these girls. I'm just gonna say, I wasn't raised like that, ladies. No, I know that if I wanted to be horrible to somebody, I could really mentally fuck them up. So I purposely
Well,
don't.
sure,
I purposely
yeah.
don't because I can't.
You are well equipped.
I will not use my powers for evil. I can't.
I need to know what the most obnoxious way that somebody has reached out to you. I had somebody reach out to me on Pinterest.
Really?
Pinterest.
That's funny because so have I. I'm not even
Right.
kidding.
I mean,
Seriously?
that's extreme.
Like,
To me.
what did
I
they
had
say to you
some-
on Pinterest?
well,
like, hey, I like your fucking
No,
pins.
they
I don't-
tried to reach out via text, and I had them blocked, and they tried to
Well,
reach
see,
out.
Oh,
for
you're
answers,
saying they've already talked to you somewhere
like they
else.
have settled on Pinterest.
I had someone reach out to my mom trying to get a hold of me because I wouldn't answer them. And I'm not kidding you when I say they sent my mom a dick pic and said, "Can you please forward this to Taylor?"
No.
I promise
No.
you.
All right, you win. You win.
This is not the first time it's happened. People all the time.
Send your mother dick
Do not
pics.
send dick pics to 234.
Sir. No, do. We'll start a folder.
No.
They can go in the group
No.
chat.
Start a folder,
It'll go in the
and
group
we will
chat.
just start
I'm gonna
sending
tell you
them
right
back.
now. I will post your fucking number on everything. I will fucking roast you. Oh
It
my-
Better
go
be
in the-
well equipped.
It will go in the group chat.
Say it with your whole chest.
How many
Gentlemen.
pictures of men's penises come your way?
Too many. I promise you, like
So many.
so
They
many
lead
every
with
day.
it.
Every day. I posted this picture. My sister's birthday was yesterday. I made a post around Facebook. I promise you, I'm not even kidding. Some guy posted a dick pic on my Facebook, my comment section. That's not a joke. And it was just pictures of my
Here's
little
the
sister.
thing. Like, well, okay. So I have a question.
Who did you make mad?
Was it proud? Should he have been? That's the thing.
Her
Like,
face. Going on her face. That was so good. I hope you got that. She was like,
so
He should have been ashamed of himself.
Right.
I
have
screenshotted
seen
it.
like glory pictures, right? Where I'm like, all right, congratulations.
No, I probably if it was
and
worth
then I've been
it,
other ones that I'm like, why are you sending me
if it was
this?
worth it, I probably would have gave him a high five. But he should have
Yeah,
been
right,
ashamed. He
Just an
He should have
emoji.
went to bed disappointed in himself for doing that.
He probably was based on the comments.
they didn't. Other people roast him.
Did
on
you
that?
send him
yes.
just like
I had this guy. Oh, hang on.
Taylor wins, man.
I had.
You're phenomenal. You're my favorite guest.
It's pretty good.
Season 2, episode 2. Taylor's coming back.
She's coming back because there's gonna be more.
Oh, it never fails. Every day.
Seriously?
Every day. I'm not kidding. Every day I get a new message.
We'll bring the
We might have a little
Tablet,
segment
and we'll
once a
just
week
have
with you
her-
that we'll just have you like read them.
I'm in.
I'm not joking.
I'm in.
You
trash
boys think
talk
that'd be a
with
good idea?
Trash talk with Taylor.
That's my favorite. That's why.
She's like, yeah.
Justin said he was slightly disturbed.
That's why me and Jake are laughing all the time.
Right. Mike's doing it all wrong. Now he's
Yeah,
like,
Mike.
oh,
Here's
I
some
should've been
tips.
sending.
No, send more than just the tip, bud. No. Taylor, do you got any more?
Yeah, I had this guy text me and he said, I gotta ask, what style do women like you prefer guys' pube hair to be? And then I simply responded, high pony like Ariana Grande.
She wins. Listen, you should teach at the fucking learning annex of how to roast a boy because
Oh my god.
that's fucking good.
Did you send a picture? Because that makes it better.
Uh-oh. You got it?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I was just making sure.
Yeah,
I didn't want
I
it
got
if they were flipped around.
If it's not
They
shaped
were.
like Ariana
Flipped around.
Grande's ponytail, I don't want it.
You don't
Please go
want it.
home.
Jeez.
I'ma kick you out.
That's it.
Hi, pony.
Or mohawk, whichever. But it's got to be impressive.
Fuck.
Outside of the box, Thomas. That's what she wants.
Appalachian girls, boys. They're good when they're on your side. They're bad when they're against you. Just to let you know. Next. Keep it coming. The hits keep fucking coming.
This.
You can't even look. This is gonna be bad. Fuck.
This guy texted me, and he said, "I'm willing to throw you on the changing table and show you why you should call me daddy."
That's fucking creepy as shit. I'm sorry.
Sir? Sir.
And I
I had
said,
to back that up a little bit.
I said, 911.
Oh my god.
Sir. Too much. Too much.
Mike, don't lead with that one, bud.
That one's icky.
All right. Fuck, Taylor. Do you have more? You have more.
I have so many more.
Let's have them. Let's
One
fucking...
more. Right.
Fuck. Jesus Christ. Oh. You can't even fucking read it.
They're really bad, but they're so funny to me. Like
It's so good.
I read them and I'm like, what went through your mind when you were typing that? Like,
Probably
what?
a lot of drugs and alcohol. I mean, honestly.
I'm going to assume that they just copy and paste it.
Do you think?
Copy and paste.
Justin thinks they're sober.
They probably are.
Sober?
Do you think they are?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Fuck.
What time do you get them? I need a timestamp.
All throughout the day, morning, afternoon. Like, you should be sitting, drinking your coffee, eating breakfast, and I'll get a message at 8:02 a.m. saying, please, you know.
Are they also at 8:02? 8:02
Like, are they the
a.m.?
same time zone?
Right, yeah.
Well, when I look at every time someone sends me a message, I don't respond, but I promise I'll stalk your social
Well,
media.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, I will flame you.
Well,
if
like
I
you
can.
said, like if you're in a relationship,
Dude, I knew a client. She said she would send that shit to their entire family, their mama.
yes.
That brings me to my next one.
She's like, funny you should mention it.
You boys can't be this dumb.
Hang on, I have to.
They can't be this dumb.
How old are they?
Oh, she told me earlier that the
It varies. Like, I promise, like, they're older than my dad sometimes. Sometimes they're old enough to be my grandpa. You know, some of them are young. All. And, like, I don't know who any of them are. Like, I'm not friends with them on any social
Did your
media.
ex like put you on some fucking site or some crazy shit? Like, I'm not
Right.
being an asshole, but like
Probably.
Right.
He was kind of insane. But you know what? It gives me great entertainment. So
you're here
thank you.
today. It brought you
Thanks.
here.
This is my full-time entertainment.
Thank you.
This is my new soap
It's
opera.
super good.
I have to find this one.
Fuck.
I sent it to him. I actually went to his Facebook and I posted on his timeline.
Like
So-
what he posted to you?
Yeah. So and I tagged his mom on it and his grandma
Taylor, don't give a fuck.
on his timeline, and I made it public. I don't care.
Did they freak
Please
out?
read it
And
out loud.
well, he deleted
for
it, and I
today.
did it again.
Persistent little booger she is.
Tenacious.
Tenacious Taylor.
Yeah.
He texted me and he said, "Would you be willing to fuck a 30-year-old?" And he said, "I'm wanting him to have some fun." And then he said, "I've been preparing for this moment for a while. I want to show you how you got here." And I screenshotted it and I posted it on his timeline. And
How you got here?
Sexual, like she was made from somebody having sex.
yeah, so I posted it on his timeline and I tagged his mom and his grandma on it.
Did he
'Cause
write you back
dug
after that?
First.
Oh yeah, I'm going deep. I don't care.
Did he write you back or anything?
No, he deleted it, so I did it again.
But he never wrote you back?
His mom did.
Shut up.
What did she say?
I'm sorry I raised such a piece of shit.
No, she was like, "I don't think that's my son." So I like screen recorded and I went to his profile and then I put the screen recording on his timeline. This
I'm
is
not
not
gonna
statement
lie.
between us. This is all of us now. This
I
is
wish-
Right. She wins, sir.
I wish everybody, male or female, if you get some fucked up shit like that you're diligent. Because
That's
most people
how you
won't
do
correct
it.
people like that. You know?
I don't care.
think that's my son.
Yeah, she said that. She was like, I don't think that's actually him. So I went from the message itself, I went view profile and I scrolled through it. I even typed her name in for friends. Like I'm like it says view friends. So I typed her name in the friends and it came up. I went on her profile. I went back, typed in his grandma's name, and then I posted it on his timeline. I didn't send it to her. I put it on his timeline. This isn't between us. This is everybody now.
Like, raise your kids better.
Yeah. This is, I don't care.
I could not imagine being tagged in that shit over something my daughter did.
Oh my God.
Could you? You
Oh
have boys.
my God.
Do you think this is coming?
No, not with the one I have. My oldest, no. My middle, no. My youngest,
Maybe. Some wild shit.
not on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'll even find him on Facebook. I don't care what platform you send it to me on. Like, I will find you and I will post it on
Sure.
there.
That's fucking crazy.
I don't care.
Congratulations, you win.
I just simply stopped caring. Like, if you want to, if you
You
want to be
put it
that
out
way,
there.
yeah, you want to be that way.
You poked the bear.
We could be that way.
Yeah. Show me where
Let's talk.
how I was made.
She's fantastic.
Pretty good, Taylor. Well, Taylor, thanks for coming on the show. We're going to have a segment. I know.
Yes.
Can I have a tiara?
We need a tiara.
Yes.
This is for our season finale, but we will actually start having you do a segment maybe once.
I will make one.
A segment.
Some sort of tiara
to.
and or trophy.
Well, we have to have a segment
in.
with
But
you
then you have to come back
to read your shit.
Right.
I'm like a boomerang. I never
to
disappear.
see if you can
I'm
keep
always-
it or not.
Oh, I'll top it every time.
Trash talk with Counselor
Oh my
Kelly.
God.
That'll be my new segment.
I think you should
And
start a
I'll-
company that when somebody fucking sends something like that, they send it to you and you just fucking go ham on them.
Blast them.
Like
People
an army.
do that on TikTok all the time.
That's why I go to the group chat first, and I'll screenshot the group chat. So it's not just me. Like,
Oh my
you know.
God. Are we
Oh.
dating the same guy?
So we need an update on that. Are you still?
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. I'm on now on Facebook. Are we dating the same
Tens
guy?
of thousands of women.
yeah.
I'm so glad I'm so far removed from this shit. I know I'm not on there. I know I'm not going to be on there.
It's sick.
But I'm nosy, so I'm gonna be on.
You like
Absolutely. It's my primetime television.
It's better
I
than
am
General
I am
Hospital.
married in a healthy relationship and a therapist, and that is where I get my entertainment.
I will before I go to bed every night. I'm like,
Same.
Ashley,
Oh
you're
my
in
God.
for it.
Any post that has over like 60 comments, I'm like,
I'm
yes.
reading
Like,
every
let's
single one.
go.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Are you kidding?
yeah. I am.
It's already been infiltrated though, so it's not real anymore.
Some people are like, oh my God, he did the same thing to me. Blah,
And
blah,
I'm like,
blah.
no, girl, he
Some
did
people
not.
are like, here's my long-term fiance. Anybody have any tea or gossip? And then they just go in. And I'm like, oh
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, I went on a date with him in December.
But you're not
Like,
allowed to
that
like
is-
anything that happens in there. You're not allowed to bring it outside of it. You
Yeah,
will
I
get
can't talk about like
you will-
specifics or
you
like
will
right
get
now.
removed from the group chat. Like,
Yes.
You're not allowed.
But a lot of women screenshot and,
And they get
share
kicked out.
and
Can you ask if the founder can come on the show so we can talk to her?
I will ask her.
I don't even know who it is.
We need to.
Well, she has like so many, the groups that I'm on, she has like literally like publicly asked, is there anybody who can help with like
Administration.
vetting people and getting people added to this group? I got in before.
Mike,
it
there you
was
go. Second
anything
job, bud.
Nuts. I was on when it was like 3,000 people.
Yeah,
and
I was-
like,
so
I
that's-
don't have my phone, so I don't know.
There's a lot.
I
of
mean,
people. I think there's
like-
over 10,000 people in that group.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, well
Can I
aware
just say
because
something? If you think you need to fucking ask somebody
Well,
else, just
it's
fucking
like
I'm
do
only
it.
in it
that's-
for the entertainment.
Same.
you know?
And
I
a lot
couldn't
of people
imagine.
will say that, and I do feel bad on occasion when somebody posts something because
Well,
they're
see,
feeling some type of way, and
most
then
girls
women
will-
just rip them apart.
Well,
And I'm like,
most
come
girls
on.
post it and they're in a healthy relationship. They just want to know about their past. And see, I think that's reaching, and I think that's too far.
Yeah.
And that's not. You do your own fucking work. That's not doing. That's,
See, I couldn't.
And a guy could have changed.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, not to be a dick, but girls change too.
See, I
Guys
don't need
change.
that. I can find anything out in like 10 seconds. If I'm into you and I want to know, I'm gonna know. I don't need to ask.
Well, and so we've had that conversation about like, if I was dating you and I said, hey, are you dating anybody else? Versus, does anybody else think they're dating you?
That's our favorite lie.
Well, see,
Is a
because
big shift. And I feel like that's why, like, I feel like that's the
I couldn't
healthy
do
route
it.
of this
My car would have to be
site of
fixed
like,
after
hey,
that.
is anybody else dating this guy? Because
I couldn't
I'm
do it.
dating him, and like, I just want to
Right.
make sure that nobody else feels like
Well,
they're
my
dating
client
him.
today. Same thing.
Yeah.
But in that case, she should hit him with her car. So.
Right. She's not going to do
Well,
that.
every once in a while, we see like
I would.
same-sex people on that site, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and people are mean to them.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, are we dating the same guy?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. They're very shameful in there.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually quite sad. Some of them they'll rip you apart for
Not
just,
to be a dick, I think guys should be allowed to look through that, and any girls who's commenting
Well,
shitty
there's
things, not
girls
date them.
have their own. The guys have their own. Are we dating the same girl?
Yeah, there's probably like
Oh my
7
God.
guys on there.
No.
I want to know that
There's-
website. I need to
It's
be
the same
part
thing
of
on
that.
Facebook. But
I'm going to make my husband
How many
join
guys are
that.
on there?
there is like I'm not on it. You can't get in as a girl, but
Okay,
there's like
but
over
when
10.
this was first posted, when she first told me about this, like they existed,
Months ago. Yeah.
like, well, 14,
It was like-
it was fucking
well, it was-
15 weeks ago, longer. It was 20
Yeah.
weeks
It
ago.
was like 3,000 people.
Okay, there
And now,
wasn't
are
any,
you part of,
but there wasn't any dudes on there.
like,
Because I looked to see if there's guys.
Tri-County, we don't say like where we're from. So like Tri-County area. Are
Oh
you
yeah.
part of that one?
Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm actually in some of them that aren't even in this area.
all right. So
Oh my God.
pull up Tri-Counties. Are we dating the same guy? And tell us how many people are part of it.
I think I'm in like
I'm almost going to put Taylor on the show as a tech support to sit over here on a fucking
Yes.
laptop and just go ham for real. God. But how many girls are being shitty?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pull
Oh,
that
yeah.
one up because that's the one that I was like telling you about
Jeez.
and how quickly it skyrocketed.
Boys,
There's
don't do
over
dumb shit.
50,000 people on that one.
No, see it now.
Stop it.
There's only 150,000 people in this fucking town. And I'm going to assume most of them are dating the same fucking guy.
Yeah, but that's
Listen.
3 counties.
The guys Are We Dating the Same Girl has 100K members.
There's no way.
But that one's like worldwide. Like that one's
It's just
okay.
It's
that's
just,
like not our area. That's
Okay.
just like the one.
it's people wanting to watch the train wreck.
Yes.
I'm into it.
I would pay good money.
Oh yeah.
But do you notice how mean people really are?
Yes.
But that's
Thomas, don't judge us.
kind of what makes it
Hard not
entertaining.
to. It's hard.
We're not
no,
engaged
not you guys. No.
in it.
Yeah, I guess.
They ask for it.
Jeez. I just can't. Like.
It makes me
And then you have good
sad.
guys like
I
Mike
know.
who's trying to find a fucking nice woman who wants to fucking do dope ass shit and be treated well, eat some good food, make out, go on trips. And you got to surf through all these dudes that are ruining
Yeah.
it for everyone else. And girls do the same shit. Because, dude,
Yeah.
if people
That's
think
fair.
girls don't cheat and aren't
Oh, they
fucking
do.
talking to fucking 10
yeah,
guys
no,
at
they
a
are.
time.
Right. Well, they find it as entertainment. They just build a roster because they're jaded. Because by the end of the day, they're getting messages like that, and they're like, "All right, what
Can't
will
beat
you
them,
do?
join them.
What can you do?
Ugh.
What will you send me?
Dude, I'm so glad I'm not in the middle of that shit.
Right? Am I wrong? That you're like, all right, well,
Well,
will you stand on your head? Will you do 2,000 jumping jacks?
The best you're gonna get is my grandma's toes.
I know.
Damn.
There you go.
No shit. Well, if you guys want to send Taylor some toe pics, just kidding.
God.
Leave Taylor the fuck alone.
This phone number.
234-200-5949.
I'll leave the state. Change my name.
Right. We're gonna bring Taylor back on.
Every 4 weeks, it's going to be us and Taylor.
She's got to come back.
I'm in.
All right, we'll do
Deal.
the once a month segment. I'm into it. So if you're having an emotional affair, you got to really
Yeah, it's
get
tough.
ahead of that,
Like,
and you got to
it's-
kind of back it up. But you got to also understand, why are you having that emotional affair? And if you are, you got to be honest with yourself, and you truly do.
Right, what are you getting out of it?
Well, you're probably getting somebody you can vent to and share to because it feels good. That's why you have a job. That's why I have a job. People need to vent to someone. It's not their mate.
I guess,
okay?
is it an innocent takeaway?
I'm sure you've had clients that have overstepped because they feel
Yes.
comfortable with you.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They
It's very
grow
common to
into
do.
it, and
You
then
know what I
all of
mean?
a sudden they're like, "Ooh,
Yeah, dude, but, you
I
know-
don't know how I landed here."
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. By the 7th prostate exam I had by this one doctor, it felt very personal. You know what I mean?
He can't help himself.
And but I understand. But here's my thing, though. Also, on the other side of it, if you are a mate, that was good, right, Tilly? That was a good.
I
joke.
can't.
So if you're a mate,
Too
Great doctor
serious.
choice.
Right.
I know, right? I can't just be so serious. You have to also understand that if your mate is talking to somebody else, Are you open with them? Are you non-judgmental with them? Can you communicate with them in a healthy way?
Yeah, do they
we don't
need
just
to
say,
step out?
we need to communicate. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
You have to really ask some real questions. And what I'm noticing, because I ask people lots of questions, you know, a good relationship's communication. Okay, you can't just stop there. That's like send prayers. It's not real. That means not it.
That's fair.
That means not it. Okay, what does communication mean to you or your partner? Because my communication is totally different than my wife's.
Right.
I mean, that's not even
Sure.
the same fucking
Yeah.
world.
Your style, you mean? Yeah,
Just
very different.
The need for it, the fucking understanding of it, all of it. But like what I'm learning is communicating more. Because if somebody doesn't feel open when I try to talk to them, I'm not going to talk to them. I don't care.
Right.
It doesn't mean I don't love them. I have friends that I can talk to super deep shit about, and then I have friends that I wouldn't even try to talk about that shit with them
Right.
because I know I'm gonna be like, man, fuck her. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's not what you're looking for.
No.
Right.
So you have to understand, like, if your person's having an emotional affair, don't act like it's the end of the fucking world, because it's not the fucking end of the world. Get to the bottom of it, or you're going to continue to probably have it. And you're continuing not to know how, even if you're not going to know how to deal with it when it comes down your way or get ahead of the problem. Like, if you say, hey, I'm feeling some weird vibes about that girl.
Right. Like that.
I'm not comfortable with that. But again, because of my shit where I was like, I don't want to fail somebody, I didn't realize how many years I struggled with justifying it. I'd figure out a way in my head to justify it because I didn't want to fail that person. But I also don't want to fail the person I'm with. And where does that put a nice person?
So do you struggle with who to prioritize?
Yes. Because I don't have a hierarchy. I'm learning to get that. Yeah. See, nobody wants to hear that.
No.
But that's because I try to treat everybody fucking nice. It's hard for me to. I know.
I roll.
But it's hard for me to take it
Well,
down.
we talked about the pyramid.
Yes.
Right.
And that's hard
And you're
for me.
learning, right?
Yeah, but that's hard for me. But here's the other thing. I also know how I feel about that person. If you're saying
And
that
it's
girl's
different.
making me feel fucking weird, and I'll go, I wouldn't fuck that girl with Justin's dick and Mike pushing, and Taylor sending pictures to their mom. Okay? So you understand what I'm saying? But
Right,
I know.
I get it.
So this is how I explained
I
it. Ready?
know.
It's like seeing me. You're sitting on. Say we're married, and we have a property, and it's a farmhouse, and we have this beautiful wraparound thing, and we have a field, and you
choice.
know.
Good
you-
choice.
Okay, right? The best.
You're doing great so far.
Ready?
Continue.
So you know that there's a bank over there, that there's a river right there. And all you see is me over there, and you're like, he's going to fall off that fucking bank. He's going to fall off that fucking bank. And I'm sitting over there just walking around talking to Justin on the phone, looking to see the river. But I know there's 6 feet next to me. But from your perspective, all you see is he's going to fall in that fucking river. But I know where my fucking feet are.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden now you don't trust me.
God damn it. All right.
You trust me with your food. I prepare food for you. I take care of your children. I take care of your mama's car. I take care of all this shit. But all of a sudden, you have a hard time understanding that now all of a sudden, I can't be fucking trusted. I don't know where my own fucking feet are. That's from my perspective.
Such a dick. That was a good analogy.
That was pretty,
God damn it.
that was pretty good.
So here's, I guess, where my personal and clinical issue comes in. If you have fallen in that river
Right.
time after time after
That's
time,
a totally different situation.
and now before I even moved in, you know, like I moved into your farmhouse and now you're out there and you have told me so many times how you fucking fell
Totally
in that
different.
river.
Totally different.
And now I'm on the phone going, ooh, I feel like that's not a
different.
good idea. That is where some people are.
But how you come at him and you go, hey, I'm going to give you some chance to make sure you don't fall in the
sure.
river.
Have at it.
But
Well,
I'ma
that
tell
was
you
the
what,
conversation
if
I
you walk-
recently had personally is like, have at it. But when you fall,
When you walk in this house wet, I ain't giving
and
you
I
a
have
towel.
told you, right, and I have told you time after time, you told me that this is a bad idea, that you have failed to do so, and now you come in wet.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
I'm gonna throw up a middle finger and tell you, like, you might have to pack your shit.
You will get
like,
pneumonia.
Right, yeah, right. Like, you know what I mean?
Taylor's
like,
going to send
it's-
pictures of your mama.
So if for the first time ever you fall in,
Different.
so much empathy.
Yeah. And with a person like me, because of the way my brain works, and if you're
Yeah.
with me, you should probably kind of
Like,
fucking...
right, yeah.
you'd
If
be
you
like-
actually lose your footing and you're like, I have no idea how this happened or how I landed here.
I wouldn't even, like, I can't even put my fucking head in that world. You know what I mean? Justin just drove by here really fast.
Right, but you could land in a situation where you're like, oh shit, I have to tell her about this.
Yeah, and if you're doing that, but that's a relationship, man.
right.
And everybody acts like everything. If everybody walks around like, that's fucking unforgivable, I'm like, you're full of shit.
Unforgivable is harsh.
That is harsh. Some people
If
lost
it's
your kid,
intentional,
unforgivable.
Intentional, maybe. Unintentional, I feel like, is how emotional affairs typically.
You heard what that girl said.
Started.
I cheated first.
You let your emotional boundaries down and you cross the line, and then most of the time, clinically, the couples that I meet with are like, I didn't even know I was crossing the line until I did. Then all of a sudden I'm like,
well, I wasn't crossing the line. What I'm saying,
you were
I didn't
stepping on it.
No. I didn't understand her point of view, and until I did, from her perspective, it just felt very attacking to me.
Right.
And that's how I took it. It wasn't the right key for my lock. And as soon as she had the right key, I was like, oh, baby, I'm sorry.
That makes sense.
I totally fucking get it.
Right.
And so that's where I had to kind of like walk through it a little bit. But I'm saying, but nobody likes to, you got to allow somebody to fail, like your child. You have to allow them to fuck up, because you can't learn unless you fuck up. I'm not saying let them. I hate to break this to everybody. You're not going to stop somebody from having an affair, whether it's emotional or
if they
fucking
want
physical.
to, they're going to.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? You can talk to them, but how you breach it, because here's the other thing I heard today, and it's very true. And most women, and men probably too, I just don't date them. I don't know, but you guys have a spidey sense, man. You know when a girl is sniffing around your fucking dude. And because I'm so oblivious, because I'm obsessed with guitars and lighting in this fucking studio and recording and tattooing, that I'm literally like, that girl's fucking into you. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Did you see the ebony fretboard on this fucking Sir guitar? Like, that's... I'm not even joking. Like, so for me, it's like, I would never have a relationship with her. I don't ever want to have a relationship with her. Because...
Well, that's fair. But I guess that's where I have been, and some of my clients are, that they speak up and they're like, hey, babe, this one seems fishy.
Right.
And most men or partners will respond by like, I didn't even notice.
Then you gotta let it go.
And then 6 months later, they back off. And then again, something comes up and they're like, hey, babe, you told me this yesterday and that seems off.
Now listen, if you're overselling it, if you're really...
No, I mean, like, organically and innocently, they're like, Sonny? That's fine.
You might be pointing out something that they didn't even notice, and now they're suddenly like, wait, they like me?
Well,
I mean, like, honestly, like...
That is super
like,
common.
I'm going into work like this.
Right. Most of the time, men are super oblivious the first time you point it out. And the second time, they're kind of like, I didn't know that was a thing. The third time you point it out, you're like, no, I told you about this. You minimized it, and you landed yourself in a situation. I'm learning not to minimize things. Right.
That makes
most of the time we're not wrong.
Yeah, no, she's not.
About that. No, in that capacity. If we say, hey, that bitch.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
No.
She can see it a mile away. She has she should work for a company.
Because we're women. We've done it. We have done all the grimy shit.
Yeah.
That we're calling out in other people. So that's the frustrating part is like, hey, if I tell you, hey, this is off and this is off and this is off, and then you find yourself tripped up, that's when I'm pissed. You can come to me and congratulations for telling me, ooh, you were right.
Yeah. So for me, I think
it's probably too little too late by that point.
Yeah. So I've learned recently that I've spent most of my life wondering about how I feel about something in a situation like that. And like, I don't feel that way, so it's not a big deal. Like,
sure.
That's that appellation. If I don't, I'd have to give a shit for it to matter.
Fair, black and white, right.
But I'm learning that a very valuable tool
here in Northeast
is to see it from her perspective, but she's got to see it from mine too. And that's where you have that's the problem. You can't just be demanding, you need to make me fucking feel better about this. Yeah, fuck off, because I don't know how I'm supposed to fucking do that.
It's not organic for you.
Yeah, because if I'm going, hey, I can just tell you, like, I don't feel that way. Like, if I was saying to her, man, that guy at work, blah, 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 and she's like, girls know if they'd fuck a guy the minute they meet them.
Yeah.
if she's like, I don't have anything, like, and if I kept on her about that, that'd have to be the most annoying shit in the world.
yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
For
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Well, I just don't treat
I said
people that
no.
way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't.
right, yeah.
And because I don't treat people that way, I'm like, well, why are you doing that to me?
Right.
But it's okay because I'm trying to understand it. But like, I've learned, like I said in the last few weeks, that when you got to look at it like, why is she feeling that way? And she's got to look like, why am I feeling that way?
Yeah.
And that's not easy to fucking do.
Right.
It's so
Yeah.
much gray. This is probably one of the grayest topics that we could talk about,
100%.
which causes so much. I mean, when we post this,
Yeah, they're gonna lose their shit. Emotional,
Right.
emotional affairs is huge. So
it's
just
such a common topic.
listen. If you want to have an emotional affair, just send some fucked up shit to Taylor, and she'll read them off.
She
I got
will
you covered, and I will.
scratch your itch
Yeah, but
and
listen.
shut you down, and you will not want to have an emotional affair anymore.
I hope your mom is on not on
and your
social not
grandma.
on social media
Listen.
or dead because
No
she will
boundaries.
I'll
find
find
them.
someone. I don't care if it's your aunt.
She'll
your
dig
uncle,
up your
dog.
mama's dead body and fucking read it to her.
I will go there, write it on a piece
Yeah.
of paper, and I will just.
Oh my God.
So if you see Taylor out
You're
barrel racing,
fantastic.
don't fuck with her when she's barrel racing, or she'll put you in one of those fucking barrels. All right, so
I'll just run them over. I ain't got time for all that.
take it easy on the
She's like, I ain't
emotional
getting my horse
affairs.
out.
Yeah.
Hey, but boys, if you didn't pick up what they were saying, is you'd probably be in less trouble if you just fuck them. So just saying.
Truth.
Yeah.
Don't
so,
get involved.
Just saying. I'm kidding. Don't fuck around. Find a polyamorous person. But I think some people like the thought of
I
getting in
know.
trouble. You know what I mean? They
That's
like doing
true.
bad shit.
Adrenaline junkies.
Oh, just like that. I guarantee when they send girls, I mean, you're not
Ooh.
the only girl they're
Yeah,
sending.
it's a
that to.
high.
Yeah.
Just
You know
for
what I
them
mean?
to send it is a high.
But whether they get a good reaction or a bad reaction,
They don't care.
you know what I mean? They're gonna get punished, and I'm sure some guys are really into that shit. So, I mean,
Hope the
they
mom
are.
is too.
I saw a shirt the other day that said, "Don't abuse me, I may come."
Oh my god!
I have that shirt.
I was like, she said I have that shirt.
Okay, Taylor wins.
I got it, Spencer's.
Jesus. Here we are. All right, everybody, quit being fucking dicks to each other. Be nice to each other. This is our final one of the season. I'm going on vacation with Mike this week. We're gonna do some little things, so we got another couple weeks, so we're gonna catch up. We might only have 1 week lull between things, but we'll have some content in between those. But thank you guys for the support. This first season was hard. Oh, we're also re-releasing the first 3 episodes with better audio. So if you kind of got frustrated with it, Mike, being the angel that he is, he went through and redid it so you can actually hear him really well. So you can share them and maybe go back through them. Is that cool? What?
Sounds great.
All right. So you guys have a great... Taylor, thank you so much for sharing your
You're
stories. Let us know at 234-200-5949 if you think it would be good ideas for us to just post these motherfuckers' handles.
You might find your uncle in there.
Yeah. Or you might find your future husband.
Whichever works. I'd love to
Whatever.
play matchmaker.
Oh, fuck. Now that would be a segment. Jesus. Have a great day. See you next season.